Team USA took the opening round, so they had 1-0, but now it's on to doubles. So whoever's going to leg, please come up and we'll round begin.
Let's go. Team Philippines. Team Philippines.
Well, all right, ladies and gentlemen, we're back for match number 2 and what will be our warm-up for the Mosconi Cup. It's Team CSI against Team USA. And Shane Van Boning and John Moore, two very familiar names. Another familiar name we have now, Nick Shulman. Nick, who is a former pool player at a young age and a poker great and does a lot of commentary in poker as well. Nick,
Team CSI to break.
Now joining us. What do you think, Nick?
How are you, pal?
Good, good.
It's great to be here.
Well, you saw the opening match, which I know you've watched plenty of the Mosconi before.
Shane looks like he has them screwed on pretty tight.
Yeah.
Boys are getting some of the kinks out. Bergman took the foul for not calling the extension. Nice to do it in the warm-up naturally.
Right. When you had asked me prior to this match about John Morris switching to left-handed, but he still does break the balls right-handed.
Yeah, see that? That's amazing to make that switch, though, deep into a pool career. I mean,
well, it's happened with, you know, some of the gamblers years ago, but never at this stage, or have I ever seen someone be able to switch and play as he doesn't play as well as he does right-handed. I think he'll tell you the same, but it's not far off.
Sure.
And a guy you were talking about just a moment ago, how great is he hitting the ball, that being Shane Van Boning.
I want to watch this guy in person. I mean, nothing most pool fans don't know, but just a little different. I think an all-time great at this point, it's fair to say, and he's still kind of in his prime. But yeah, just watching him in person when he's flowing is truly a sight to behold.
Yeah, and he's
I always ride the broom a little bit though on these guys.
Yeah. Well, Shane, arguably many think already the greatest of all time, and you know that's referring to 9-ball pool, of course. But if you look at his accolades and you know all of his accomplishments and you know, kind of getting the monkey off his back a little last year with the Mosconi as well.
Sure.
It's got to free everything up.
Yeah, absolutely.
And speaking of one of the all-time greats, Alex Pagalan, who is our newest member of the BCA Hall of Fame, and deservedly so. Yeah, beautiful shot.
Yeah, congratulations to Alex on that well-deserved induction. And yeah, he moves so great, Alex. He doesn't just execute, but he's a pretty cerebral player, which I know you're a big fan of.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, when you get them both going, you know, the mind and the body. When we talk about the World Cup, guys that have played a lot of doubles together, that being Shane and Skylar the last, I think, 3 years in the World Cup, which is 2-man teams that represent your country only. And then also for Canada, John Moore and Alex Pagalan, who's the other side of the match here in match number 2. It is a race to 5 points if you're just joining us. This is our second match of the event. Okay, and that's one of the issues with the new table, the slick, is the kicking, especially soft kicking, because the ball just, you know, it's not something you're used to in your everyday pool room.
So tough to gauge, tend to go long.
Right.
Just joining us, this is the warm-up. The actual Mosconi Cup is the 25th through 28th this year. Mandalay Bay, lovely Las Vegas.
Yeah. Well, last year and then also in 15, it was a beautiful setup at the Mandalay. And one thing about Matchroom, that they're always trying to improve their events from year to year. Makes a big difference, I think.
Sure.
And it's nice having, you know, a combination like these two guys for Team CSI, and of course on our side as well, that they don't have to talk a whole lot.
Right. They know each other.
Yeah. Well, John, as becoming a champion, probably kind of looked up to Alex.
Sure, of course.
You know, being from Canada.
Alex, a legend globally, but especially up north. Not too many issues here, Jeremy.
No, not really. You know, we got a little different with the color scheme on the balls. So that's the purple 5 that'll follow this pink 4.
The purple 5 takes a little bit to get used to for us old school guys, but get there.
Yeah, they still have numbers on them, and they're still round. So as soon as you get used to that color, the one thing I like about it, though, that's not too alarming for me is the pink 4's been played with for a little while with the TV sets and whatnot. So if you just think the pink leads me to the purple.
There it is. Pink
you're
into
good.
purple, and off we go. Try to get a little angle on this 6.
Pretty nice. Maybe a hair more than he wanted, but I
Right.
mean, but you want the angle, so you have to
Yeah.
deal with a hair more.
Yeah.
You know, it's better than straight.
Well said.
Now, Alex is a player that in the last year or so he entertained playing with some glasses there for a little bit, and
I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Spectacles.
yeah, and I kind of think he would have stuck with it, but it kind of gave him a little bit of headaches for a
Right.
little while. So
Could see that.
yeah, I'm kind of fighting that one off, getting the glasses.
Yeah, what about LASIK or something? I mean,
Well, I don't know. I've never entertained it. I've had such great vision
But-
for such a long time,
Yeah.
but now the readers are
Yep.
getting some comments about those.
Got the flashlight out for the menus.
Yeah, I did it last
Yeah.
night, as a matter of fact. But yeah,
Nice shot there from Mr. Mora.
yeah, and CSI, unlike the team match that was in our opening match, looking to get the first game, which is huge in this race to 5. You know, but I think, you know, one thing that we've told the boys over, or one thing I've expressed to them a bunch is, you know, a race to 5, alternate break, you'd like to think 1-1, 2-2, 3-3, but it doesn't work like that. I
Sure.
mean, you have an occasional match, but you have to anticipate being down 3-1 sometimes, 4-2. So it's one good thing about these guys. They don't panic.
Well done. If you're just joining us, this is the warm-up. The real deal starts Monday. Mandalay Bay, 25th through the 28th. In the U.S., you can catch it on DAZN. You can catch it on Sky Sports. Check out the Matchroom Pool YouTube channel. And I overheard you
This is
guys, and
game
I read
2.
it's over 100 countries,
Team
right?
USA.
Lots.
Yeah, yeah.
All over the place.
I
mean,
think
it's
105 is the number I
It's
heard.
a monumental event, naturally.
Yeah, well, I believe if I'm correct, I believe this is going to be the 26th year, I believe, in the Mosconi Cup. I believe it started in 1994. Don't quote me on that, but
I believe it's 12-12 with a tie, right? So that would make this year 26.
yeah, actually, last year I believe was 12-12. We broke the tie.
Yes.
We broke the tie with last year's win, and a monumental win it was.
That was quite a sweat last year, buddy. I mean, those crowds were, you know,
They were crazy.
they were really something. I mean, it was like a hybrid pool tournament / soccer event.
Right, hockey event maybe. And one funny thing, well, not funny, but one thing that really stands out to me that I was proud of with the guys is, you know, sometimes those matches can be a little bloody, but the level of pool was so high.
Really was. I mean,
That's what's so impressive about the win
Sure.
for Team USA.
like just kind of a center ball here, Jeremy. One rail out.
Yeah. And a real nice stroke there. And really ideal, right? Just
Yeah,
probably
beautiful.
draw between the 4-8,
He
or
looks
could
confident,
slide over.
Skylar.
Oh,
Just
yeah.
kind of watching him hit balls and thus far today.
Well, this is where on the slick table he can kind of slow draw this out between the 4-8 pretty easily, actually. And where on a regular table you might say there's too much angle, but you see
Right.
how that came out just really nice.
Well said. Yeah, just kind of tapped it.
Yeah, the ball draws
action.
nice.
Yeah.
So, you know, we can remind everyone, again, like you said earlier, this is a warm-up for next week's Mosconi, which the 25th through the 28th. But you know as well as I do
A little
that,
strong.
that
Excuse me. Pink to the purple. Yeah.
yeah, pink to the purple,
Yeah,
there you
yeah,
go.
Yeah.
So, but you know, once these guys cue it up and they have an opponent in front of them and a very, you know, incredible opponents, great players, deserving opponents, you know they become very serious.
Sure.
And, we're over here labeling it a warm-up, and it is.
Right.
But for these guys, it's putting a lot of time together.
Absolutely, yeah.
Time on the table. And there is a little prize money involved here as well.
Yeah, no, they're playing for the W, absolutely. I mean, there is a camaraderie seemingly between both teams. I think Team CSI kind of, even though they're coming here for the win, they know their role in sort of warming up the boys. And
yeah.
Such big business next week. But, yeah, they're out there playing hard, trying to simulate the Mosconi Cup conditions, which, of course, can't be fully simulated. There's nothing like actually being in that arena.
No, and I really don't think you can duplicate the table either. I mean, it's a little more slick. It's just the lamps from everywhere.
And being isolated in the middle of the room with all those people changes it a bit, I would imagine.
Maybe, but also there's no other time on the table. Like here, the guys got a little practice time, you know, whatnot. That's never going to happen on the arena table at the Mosconi. It is fresh, brand new set of balls every time. So. Pretty intense stuff. And the funny thing is, like you said, the Team CSI really kind of knowing their position here or their role. You have a couple former Mosconi Cup players on the team, you know, Carl Boys and Oscar Dominguez, who I know Carl's played 4 times, and I'd like to think Oscar has been on there at least 4 times.
2, I believe.
Oh, only 2?
Yeah, but still.
Really? Okay. Well, I thought it would have been more, knowing Oscar and his ability, but so they recognize how difficult next week is and how important this is for Team USA. Even though, like I said, once the cues get put together.
Oh, hey, now, I mean, yeah.
They're trying to win.
Of course. Kind of seems like you don't really get to this level without that mindset, without just sort of having that dynamite break from Alex. This looks pretty natural to come 2 rails across underneath the 7.
Yeah, and you might catch a piece of the 7, but with the the pink 4 near the 3, I don't think it should be too much of a problem here. Okay, well hit.
Beauty.
So immediately here we saw, an unfortunate foul with the shot clock with Justin and one kind of glaringly missed ball in the first match. But you can see the quality already setting in. Guys getting a little more comfortable with the table.
Getting a little bit wet.
Yeah.
Won't see too many of those extension fouls in crunch time. If
no.
10 seconds. Extension, please.
They may come above the 8 here for the pink 4. If it's any kind of worry, stand down below. Okay, he decided to put the inside.
Got a smidge flat, but shouldn't be too much of an issue.
No, and you can see the work left in this rack really from that would be the purple 5 to the green 6. So that it's gonna have to screw the cue ball back a little bit off that one. Oh, looks perfect to me.
I like this black and yellow 9 ball too, Jeremy. A little flair.
Yeah,
I
think
money
it's cool.
ball.
Yeah, I mean, I've changed all the time.
Yeah.
And the thing is, the guys know with Aramith, of course, the quality, the name, it says itself. Watch out now if he gets a funny. Ooh, okay. And he kind of knew at first that it was a little alarming.
A little thin.
Yeah. But Aramith, they make such a great product. It wasn't a last minute, oh, let's put something together. This has probably been a couple years in the making.
Sure.
And the great thing about John that I've always seen through the years with all the guys that played opposite-handed really well. Now, none of them played as a career. That was just, proposition game or shoot a shot here and there in a match or whatever it may be. They all look so eerily similar to their normal style. So.
It's an amazing thing, the ambidextrous pool players, the ones who can really do it on such a high level. On the global stage, go from righty to lefty. I mean, it's just it's part genetics and part just hard work and dedication.
Yeah. Well, John always
How's your
labeled.
lefty? Your lefty game is pretty slick, right?
Oh yeah,
You-
I don't
you
know
know
if
your way
slick's the
around
right
it.
word. I can make the shots I need to make left-handed. That's
Right.
about it. Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah, Minnie would have quit. You know,
Yeah,
him having
of course.
neck pain
It's
and
an
an
incredible
injury.
amount of heart. We see Team CSI about to go up 2-1. Just tuning in, this is the warm-up, Mosconi Cup warm-up, that is. Main event starts next week, 25th through the 28th at Mandalay Bay. Brought to you by Matchroom Sport, Matchroom Pool, catch it on DAZN, Sky Sports, everywhere. It's all over the place, Jeremy. Global
Yeah.
event.
Most
How the
likely.
boys feeling? They seem good. They really seem like a unit from the limited time. I mean, it's an obviously they are a unit, but just hanging out with them a little bit, seeing them in the pool room, you guys really seem to be getting along well. And I mean, when you and Coach start kind of preaching and getting in their ear, you can really feel the camaraderie in the team environment. They seem to really be gelling. I mean, they
Yeah.
have experience with each other now as well.
Yeah, it is, and they've learned a lot from each other. Commented on it last match with Emily, and you know, it's a trust thing. You know, you bond more. You know, in pool for many years, the top players, they learned from playing other top players.
Right.
It wasn't much about
So this will
instruction. It
be
wasn't
the
much
fourth
about
team.
mental notes.
Team CSI leads 2-1 in a race to 5.
But, you know, I think even more than just last year's win, convincing, being a convincing point, I think it was the entire year of
Sure.
seeing things happening. Talk about pool all the time. And
Got a little sluggaroo
yeah.
right now.
Yeah.
Are they experimenting with both sides of the table break-wise, just to kind of, I mean, obviously
Oh, yeah.
preparations
Yeah,
run
they will.
deep as far as the break, but
And the funny thing is, you know, at the Mosconi, the rack doesn't change much. I mean, they'll get the rack in a
Sure.
pretty good manner. But
over the days, do the way they break change slightly,
that
right?
can happen for
Yeah.
sure. And that's why, you know, the players as well as us were there to notice,
Yeah.
you know, kind of what's happening.
See Coach taking a lot of notes over there. He's always jotting stuff down. It's like Alex is just lagging up on this. Oh, did get there. Thought he could just follow up on the 9 and kind of freeze him, but I guess the angle wasn't there.
Well, this ain't bad. Just only reason if you put the 1 on the back rail with the kick shot with the 4 there, excuse me, the purple 5
Yeah.
there.
This actually sneakily is quite a bit better.
Yeah.
Sort of doesn't look like much of a shot, but if you really look at it, he doesn't have any comfortable roots to the 1, really.
No, the bottom rail
2
here is
rails,
cut off.
bottom rail looks like he's jumping.
Yeah, and that's one thing that,
Guess he's trying to hit the bottom side of the 1 and maybe create some distance.
cross side maybe. Yeah, I think that's the best play he had.
Yeah.
Involved a little two-way possibly. And that's one thing, of course, you haven't been away from pool, but when you played it, you know, at your best, there were jump cues obviously, but
Yeah,
the
there
technology of them today is
Right.
just, and the players are so incredible.
No, I mean, you see these guys today, they're just out from absurd positions. They just jump it in spots. They're really like 50-50 to make some of these weird jump shots that are incredibly difficult.
Yeah, and the other
awkward,
ones, they've
yeah.
gone up from 50-50 to like 90%.
Yeah.
And it really changes a lot of what you look at it when it comes to playing safe. You know,
Right.
So
you
we
ever miss the old days? The
Oh,
kick a
yeah, of
slightly more
course.
refined game.
Of
you
course.
know, it's. I think both versions are great.
Yeah, well, you and I talked about it the other day. I think that, you know, the game's really changed. It's all about, you know, knowledge, of course, is great, and all these guys get it, but it's really about being more efficient with the open tables.
Right.
You know, they just don't, when the table gets
Looks like
open.
it's going to work out real
There
nice.
it was,
if
it's
it
going to get on
nudges
the 8. Oh,
San Antonio declared. It's a, you know. Can he thin the deuce and just sort of freeze him on an awkward side of the 8, or is it
yeah, I
kind of
think
not
he can
there?
maybe rub them both and still lay on the 8.
Right.
Kind of put the 2 on the top rail a little bit.
And as
Kinda,
as you were just saying, the whole powerhouse open table kind of gunslinging style on this sort of modern day equipment kind of complements the changes, right?
Yeah, and it's, you know, the guys are still aggressive. The guys are still incredible players.
Strong.
But you know, we see a lot of templates played with, Nick, these days. You know, the rack templates.
Sure.
And the guys are so great with the break and learn so much about the break that you don't see balls tie up near as much. So, you know, push-outs are very difficult now because
they look
like,
extremely daunting. Yeah, they always try to tie one up on a push-out. I mean, that's been a concept for a long time, but yeah, it's like you don't want to leave any air.
Right. That's why you'll see a lot of players these days, especially at the higher level. They'll take on the kick shot if it's reasonable after the break.
Sure, don't let these guys to the table.
With control,
how do you like pushing out to Shane? It's just a dreadful spot. Well, this is one of these awkward kicks kind of on the slippery cloth, right?
Yes, it is. This is where, you know how when a ball's in your way and you have to kick with spin because the natural route isn't there?
Yeah, sure.
You're better off doing that on this table. Heck with the natural route. You're better off to kick with spin, and you try to control what's going on a little bit more.
Right.
Okay, he's got some options here. It's a little difficult with the pink 4 being there. I think still maybe he can run the cue ball towards the 8 a couple rails, maybe. Maybe it's close.
4 definitely is awkward. Maybe he tries to get him on the 3.
That's what I was thinking.
1-2 nestle, but it can squeak out. Not careful.
That's what he's doing. I think that was a good play, even if
He's
it does
probably
squeak
playing
out.
the bank as well. Sort of loosely playing the bank, but dialing it in on cue ball.
And he's got a lot of congestion here on that right side rail. So here's where another shot, John will use the right hand when he has to curve the ball.
This. I mean, it really is amazing. Play on this level, going righty-lefty. Apologies for the digressions, but I mean, it's just tremendous.
Yeah, he's a super talented
Very
guy.
slick little curve shot there. Very talented guy, and he's always hitting balls.
That's what I was getting at.
All of you guys are always hitting balls, but you know, so much work goes into games like this. Goes without saying. But just joining us, this is the warm-up match for the Mosconi Cup, 25th through the 28th from Mandalay Bay. Matchroom Sport, Matchroom Pool. Catch it on DAZN, Sky Sports, and globally. What do you like here, Jeremy?
He may go for the bank here. I mean, just because the safety isn't that great. He may 2-rail it. Yeah, kind of let it hop. When the ball gets in the air, it loses its line. It kind of moves on the line a little bit. So Team USA in a great position here.
It really didn't look like it went from the booth. I don't know. I'm sure it did if
Alex
shot it.
Yeah,
but. You like to play simple pool right for corners. Do you just stop right here?
I do.
Yeah.
I really like the corners. I think the corners promote a lot of confidence.
I've heard you espouse that many times, yeah.
It should be kind of painfully obvious when you should move to the side pockets.
Right.
You play more corners, that's how it becomes. And at times, that'll change, especially with like a slick table rails, maybe.
Sure.
Up underneath it, up underneath the 9 here.
I think so.
Well, you got plenty of draw. That was the main thing.
Yeah.
If he let it slide a little bit, it could have lost its line, Now, this is a doubles team we talked about. It's plenty of experience, and these are the type of things we're looking at for next week.
Makes sense,
sure.
Good.
Yeah, a lot of confidence, but I mean, with both of these, okay. I'll be a little upset to get him out of line there.
Test old Shane a little bit.
Yeah, we saw the final rack in the opening team match, and what a rack it was by Shane.
Yeah, that 8 ball was just, I mean, it seems when Shane has a chance to kind of close things out, he just hits a slightly different gear as we see a bit of awkwardness enter the 4 rake, and he just drizzle this guy on the side. These are nobody's favorites.
No, but I think he got, like, if you're not lined up on it, you don't even think about it. But I think he got kind of lined up where he may be able to just, like, drop it in the side pocket. Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's going to cut the 8 back and try and put it on the top rail where he's standing now, the middle of the top rail. Like that, and just that's
Smart
what
shot.
Soft safety we call those, Nick. Of course, you know what that is, where you're not getting the snooker.
Right.
You're just playing percentages.
Sure.
Okay, and this is where the jump cue comes into play, even though you may just have to try and put the cue ball behind the 9 and the 8 on the side rail.
You can't really kick behind it, right?
No.
One pocket style, it's just not there. Can he hit it thick back to where he is now? That's also not quite there, right? Boy, I hate hitting the left side of the 8 and trying to get him on the 9. It's just so awkward.
Yeah, he may go for the bank because of that.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, this is going to get over the side, though, I think. And that's the only problem about this shot here is if it dresses. Ooh, you may see Shane go for either a cross-corner bank or a kick shot even, maybe. I doubt the kick, but
cross side isn't there. The point is looming.
Did it get a little bit up there near it? I think it did.
Hard to tell. If he's jacking up, it does look like he's going cross-corner, as you said. I think he played this kind of just like that. He basically played safe with the 1, 2, 3 across. Maybe the double bank goes in occasionally.
You don't figure it to hang. That's the beautiful part about the double bank.
Is Alex kicking behind this? That soft safety we're just alluding to? Is he?
I think that's probably smart.
He hits that shot so well.
Yeah, should hit 3 or 4 inches before the side, maybe in the side.
Yeah, I know. Okay.
Okay, so a funny little cross side bank or a cut up in the corner. Because he's near the rail. Can he hit a level ball and not scratch on the cross
that's what
side?
I was just wondering. I was just about to ask you.
No, he's elevating. So
he's going cross side with a little low left, right?
Yeah, watch out for the scratch. A couple corners in the lower right corner. A couple rails in the lower right corner, excuse me.
Thick.
Yeah, and that's what happens on this table. It spreads very easily. Didn't leave no hanger, though.
No, semi-tester, sure.
So and this is where the different color here for the guys, they just have to trust what they're looking at. It's still the same contact point. Everything's the same.
A little sloppy, but we'll take it.
Yeah.
2-2, race to 5. Scotch doubles action. If you're just tuning in, this is the warm-up match. Brought to you by Matchroom
Score is
Pool.
now 2-2.
Q Sports International. Catch the real deal, 25th through the 28th, Mandalay Bay. The Mosconi Cup, Jeremy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, pretty incredible. Yeah, it's just grown every year, and you know, when I used to play in it, I thought it was huge, and it was, but it's just gotten to a different level.
Feels it's taken on almost epic, mythical kind of proportions. I mean, and the Europeans bring a tremendous amount of global flair, obviously hailing from different countries, and just the kind of camaraderie amongst them and the fans are really diehard at this point. So it's just an amazing sweat.
Yeah, and they're all sports fans, so you can tell, not just the pool fans. They really kind of bring all of it into the Mosconi Cup.
Right. I mean, if you've never seen a Mosconi Cup, it's really unlike any pool event.
Score is 2-2
really in the world or
race to
ever.
5.
Yeah, without a doubt. And
just those vibes and ambiance, and literally the crowd screaming stuff and making bizarre noises and heckling the players. This isn't really a part of pool tournaments of years past. You get kicked out if you do that.
You know, all these guys have won the Mosconi next week. They've all won big titles, but you don't see them get emotional like they do in the Mosconi. Playing for the country, playing team sport.
Team's a little different, right?
Oh, it sure is.
You grew up playing baseball and stuff, but pool, you know, a lot of these guys too, it's a very solitary pursuit, this life. It's many hours hitting balls by yourself and stuff. You know, that team environment, it is different. It's a different kind of pressure and a different just kind of release of emotions, as you said. They really wear their hearts on their sleeves in this thing as well. They should. It's a monumental event.
Yeah, and it's not shown in 105 countries just because it's Europe and U.S. that care about it. Everyone realizes how immense the event really is. These guys discussing a little bit because they got to get from the purple 4 to the green 6, just a few shots, and that's again the real work in the rack.
Yeah.
Yeah, I said purple 4, it's purple 5. Excuse me.
Pink to the purple. What do you like here? Do you play to go 2 rails between the 7-9 or 3 rails, even 4 rather? Do you
You know, if
play
I
to
had
come
ball
to
in
center
hand,
table?
I'd either draw up the rail or play that 2 rail between the 7-9 out of the lower right corner with the cue ball. Of course, no ball in hand situation here, so probably get to where you can draw the ball, I'm guessing. Yeah. Something like that. I'd like to have gotten him a foot closer maybe,
Right.
but
And that's where that slippery cloth kind of weighs on your guys' minds a bit, right? Because if you stroke it just a little too much, he's gone. So
yeah. Saw John work on this earlier, man. What a fantastic draw stroke with
got a beautiful
lefty.
stroke, yeah.
All right, this
Really
is
lovely,
he's
yeah.
gonna worry
hardly
about
even
getting
hits
back
it.
to the 7-2.
Looks like he
Okay.
left Alex that kind of punch angle.
Yeah, but this is where you may play short side on this slick
Just
table.
follow it.
Yeah, because when
Yeah.
you get to punching it, get away from you.
Yeah.
Okay, so we preach to the boys about that, not to be upset about playing short side if the cue ball goes there naturally.
Sure. And you basically called it spot on. Got a little lucky there. Things almost did get away
Yeah.
from him. And it's true what you're, I mean, of course it's true, but preparation for these kind of tables, you notice in Mosconi Cups, a lot of cheating the pocket, a lot of different kind of tactics that you don't really see on a lot of your sort of everyday pool tables.
No, not with these guys at least. And what it
Strategizing
is
for that must be huge, yeah.
Yeah, and the pockets actually aren't small, but the conditions are so premium and so nice that they slide a little bit in, so the pocket's a little forgiving. It's all about mastering the cue ball and making some good decisions. Like you'll play a ball, instead of moving the cue ball a couple rails around for short side, you'll shoot a ball down past the side pocket a little bit more often to follow into position. And
nice shot here.
Yeah.
Shot of Alex, that is. I like that kind of behind the arm shot. Really get low, get a little view into what he's looking at.
Well, you have to get low when it comes to Alex.
Team CSI is here to play, Jeremy.
Oh, yeah.
Give these boys a real warm-up. Just tuning in, this is the warm-up match to the Mosconi Cup next week, 25th through the 28th at Mandalay Bay. You can catch it on DAZN in the States, Sky Sports, Matchroom Pool. Check out the Matchroom Pool YouTube channel, and globally in over 100 countries. They're warming up, loosening up, getting the kinks out, working together as a team.
Sure.
I assume getting a little bit of rest this week, hitting a lot of balls.
Yeah, everybody, including yourself, has been, been here a few days already. Has been so kind to us and really wanting us to put us in the best position possible to get a W.
Strolls through, man. A lot of support around here. Goes without saying, but.
Well, Shane paying attention, trying to get whatever information he can from the head of the table. Now, just like the Mosconi Cup.
Dialed in on just watching the rack, as you were saying.
Yeah, a little different than last year. Along with a lot of matchroom events, they've changed it to where you cannot check the rack, which I like that rule myself. I know it sounds kind of crazy to some, but I think
it's something that I'm not used to at all seeing, but I like it as well. It's very dignified.
Yeah.
It makes sense too. You got these guys hovering over the rack for 30 minutes sometimes. Let's go,
for sure, for sure. And it's, the referees are part of the game, and they're trying to give you the best consistent rack every time, and that's only going to get better and better.
Sure.
And, like you said, I think
Beautiful
it's a very good way,
Skyler.
Yeah, good way for the players to play, get on with it a little bit, spectators to watch, get on with it a little bit, and
And some of them grind the studying of the rack so hard because they have a lot of knowledge about just the little intricacies of the way the balls are racked and how the break will go based on that. And that is a part of the game and a good thing. But this creates a little bit more, as you said, variance and kind of just, oh my. Well, let's miss these here, not next week.
Yeah. Well, that's a shot we worked on with Shane at times. The top inside English, you have to really get smooth with it. And that's more or less what the game's all about with this. Not all about, but a lot of what it's about is controlling the deflection, deflection with the cue ball on the slick table. Just like the kick shots, I guess we mentioned just a little bit ago. Oh, he caught the point, so he's not going to like that.
Sloppiness here.
Yeah, you may go for a two-way here. Bank it by the 9 and bring the cue ball up behind the 7. Bank this, probably the safety, but
It's a bit awkward though, right?
yeah, he's got to put the cue ball
Is he
behind the
banking
4.
it maybe between the 7-8?
Cue ball, yeah, lay it behind it. Cue ball behind the 4 like
Yeah,
that.
well,
Yeah.
that's such a good shot. Whenever you're trying to hook somebody on just one ball, you really have to be extra accurate. It's a nice shot on these tables.
Yeah, and that's almost
any
like the
table.
position I was telling you about.
Yeah.
Like if it happens naturally, you like that shot, it was laying very natural.
Yeah,
So your percentages of, go way up.
sure.
So a 2, maybe 3 rail kick at the bottom of the 3.
10 seconds.
I guess you're trying to put a little pace on this,
he's
Jeremy.
going 1
Gamble
rail,
a little
I think. Yeah, for sure. He's going 1 rail, so maybe some 9 ball action
Yeah.
here if he hits it.
bit. Nice hit.
Great hit.
In it goes.
Yeah.
See what Alex comes with.
Well, he's going to be stretched a little, being right-handed and a shorter man.
Yeah, it's certainly a little bit awkward.
Mm-hmm.
The way he's coming at it, looks like he can cue it semi-comfortably. Shouldn't pose too much of an issue for the Lion. Needs to go, does go. No real problems from here.
No.
Team CSI about to go up 4-2, barring something shocking. Assume the guys are trying to kind of keep the same sleep schedule they will be for next week's Cup, stuff like that. Does
Yeah,
that kind of
it'll change after tonight, after today, because we didn't play till 2. Of course, we play at 11 come Monday, 11 a.m.
Yeah.
Vegas time here, which is Pacific Standard Time. But yeah,
hair strong, no problem.
so we'll change it a little bit starting tonight. But yeah, over the next weekend, the next 5 days at least, we'll be rising early. I probably anticipate for myself somewhere around 6:30 or something in the morning, 6:30. So
Sure.
the
Can
guys.
you get down to the pool, big dog? Maybe a little stretch,
No,
Newman
probably
and
not.
Color Money style. Just,
No, probably not.
Little buffet. Just
Oh, maybe a little food, a
Okay,
little coffee,
yeah,
and
sure.
then trying to figure out what these guys need from day
Yeah.
to day. And
Well, that ends the
last
second
year
round
we really
overall score.
stuck to a schedule,
Either
which really helped.
It's
Yeah.
3-2.
Each morning, each
4-2
day.
now.
So now 4-2 and match
4-2.
number 2.
just joining us.
Race to 5.
Hit this a lot. Want to remind you guys, this is the warm-up match. The real deal starts the 25th, concludes the 28th from Mandalay Bay here in Vegas. You can catch it on DAZN, Sky Sports. Brought to you by Matchroom Pool, Matchroom Sport. Will be an epic event. Team USA versus Team Europe.
Yeah, the 26th Mosconi Cup, which started back in the early 90s, obviously.
Yeah.
One thing about DAZN is, it's a monthly subscription. You can cancel whenever you want, which is really nice these days. But you get a lot of other sports.
I mean,
you
if
don't
you're-
just get the pool, you get it all, which nothing
You're a
better
fight
than the
fan, It's an
Mosconi.
essential
Yeah,
at this
right.
point. DAZN, yeah, but they do.
Canelo's
It's a
on there now
multi-sport. Yeah,
exclusively,
Canelo
right?
signed a huge deal with them. Yeah,
Race to 5, 4 to 4.
a lot of guys are on there.
I know you're a big boxing fan. so
Love it.
I never got into the UFC that much. I appreciate here and there, but I was always
Prize
more
fighting,
boxing.
baby. Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Alex with that signature spinning of the cue. Not too many guys do that. Do you
No.
spin the cue a little bit, right? Sometimes
Occasionally,
when you're,
yeah,
Alex is
yeah.
always, if you notice the butt of his cue, it's always just rotating continuously as he's taking his warm-up strokes.
And I used to see that a bit more from more players back in the day.
Yeah,
but
Scott
not-
Frost comes to
Yeah.
mind as a spinner. But yeah, the new guys are pretty steady, right? It's a little bit more old school at this point. Is he trying to leave an angle to maybe nudge the balls and break them up a
I
little
don't think
bit?
they
Two on
need
the
broke. I
side?
think when you shoot the 4, you're going to break them. I think so. He's
Smart.
missed
Looks
that
like he
one.
gobbled it, yeah. It makes sense.
So you can see at 4-2 here in match number 2. It's a race to 5 points, but big moment for Team USA. I mean, they break the balls in the next game.
Yeah,
So if they can get out here, they can apply a lot of pressure.
sure. And this is a nice spot for them to be in, I think, in the warm-up down 4-2, where they kind of need to come with it simulating the conditions where, you know, I mean, they're going to be down 4-2 in all likelihood at some point. Like you said,
absolutely.
they'll be down, there'll be deficits. You can tell this is serious business for them.
Yeah, for pool in general, it's a long haul thing. You know, you play percentages a lot of times because you know percentages may not show up here, but they're going to show up, you know, in a year's time or 2 years' time. Same thing in the Mosconi. You'll know the time you got to do something different because the moment tells you so. And I was talking about it in the last match, Nick, that these guys, that's how I know it's a sport, is because they'll have the same scenario, same whatever, and their gut's going to tell them to shoot the bank sometimes, and sometimes it's going to tell them to play safe.
Sure.
Okay, I think that's
Looks
perfect.
perfect, yeah.
You just got to
Be a little careful to get back enough and
nip draw, right?
nip
Just a little
draw,
draw,
yeah. And it looks like the 8 will just stick right there. You don't want the 9 to get in front of the 6.
Yeah, so it's just
But,
a light one.
Yeah.
Yeah, draw it maybe
Certainly
5-6 inches. I would think
underdo
more like
it,
3 or 4, right?
Yeah, it's a little bit hard to tell if the 8 is kind of going towards the left where maybe it can impede the 6, or if it just sticks right there. I think it just sticks.
Yeah, I think so. If you draw it, if you hit it with
They're
center.
frozen.
Good hit.
Yeah, that's good.
And that'll do it.
Okay, so again, if knock these 2 in, you get to break off in game number 8 to try and level this match at 4 apiece, even though trailing 4-3 now.
What do you make the odds of a break and run out 9 ball on, you know, modern equipment? Just say singles play. I mean, you know, take Shane breaking, for example, on this table. 40, 38%. I mean,
it's got to be between 30 and 40,
yeah,
I would
that's
think.
what it feels like.
And you know, if you could pick 1 ball off, it would be way up. You know, like
sure.
that one
That
that
one
gets in
little
front of the
tricky,
shot,
yeah,
or the one
just
that
pick
gets in
this
front of
5
your
ball
first
off,
shot
right,
all the time.
Of
So
course.
I know I've seen a number of these guys beat it without ball in hand, that being the Ghost, where the Ghost is a break and run proposition where you bet you can break and run out.
Yeah.
Well, there we talked about different components and different parts of our team, and you know, Billy's the fighter, but Skyler really the one that keeps everybody lighthearted, never really lets anything settle too much. You know.
Yeah, he's a funny kid, a lot of heart, gunslinger. Yeah.
Oh yeah. And he's come a long ways, I'll tell you that, in a short period of time.
Maturation, you mean, or just
well,
kinda...
just, you know, a lot of guys thought he was a bar table, just bar table winning tournaments.
That's what I remember him
Yeah,
back
but the
in
guys
day,
had to
bar
make
table
money,
action,
you know,
of
so
course.
bar table tournaments paid pretty well for,
Yeah, man.
as far as going
Everybody's
throughout
gotta
the
eat,
year.
yeah.
So, but really made the transition and always had the talent for the big table, I thought.
Oh my.
Yeah.
0-1.
Yeah.
Might have a little hill action on our hands. That a little thin for the side, or does it lay well? And does
I think he cuts it and goes around the 3 and comes maybe short side on the 2-3 rails.
And does the 5 squeak by the 6? There's the carom available to cross that bridge when it comes, but I think it
does.
slides in there,
Yeah.
right?
And this is one where you may not apply all that right English with the slick table because it deflects a lot.
You just
know.
go center ball.
Maybe,
kinda,
and just
yeah.
go around the 3 ball,
Yeah.
3 rails. And, you know, normally you would throw it in and come 2 rails and play the 2 probably in
Yeah.
the same pocket. But now he may play the 2 in the opposite pocket.
Yeah.
Opposite side pocket, excuse me.
It's a little bit awkward, though, because if you're coming around the 3, what's exactly the plan? You're kind of coming into the 2 almost.
Yeah, he may even go in between the 2-3 off that 3rd rail, like I said, and play for, he played for the bank.
Do it,
So,
Shane.
and that may have been a lot for the cue ball, Nick, like you were talking about. It being awkward. You know, you don't want to make a great shot without much reward.
Yes, yes.
Or an even more so.
And that bank is just, I don't want to say a hanger for Shane, but it's in more often than it's not, to say
That's
the
right.
least, so.
That's right. Well, you heard our shot clock go off, but we had a little technical there. You could obviously see it was only about 7 or 8 seconds. So again, with us doing some things here with this warm-up, maybe some technical sides, get some things
they're
straight
getting the
out
kinks,
as well.
you know, warmed up as well. Yeah, absolutely. Feels like this one you do want to get kind of close to your work because you only have half a pocket.
And this is where you definitely don't want to be behind it, meaning you don't want to be near the rail with the cue ball. You want to be either above it in the center like he's at or straight in.
Yeah, beautiful shot.
And this is where you use a bit of the rail. He got close enough to it, he can still hit it with a lighter speed and draw the ball.
Drag it with that low right and just kind of accept a little angle on the 6. Yeah. Looks like 4-4, Jeremy. Team CSI breaking.
Yeah, and it's good to see.
Good to see him under a little bit of heat
For sure.
you know, for this warm-up.
Yeah, and, you know, not right now, and not anytime this week, but later on in life, you know, these guys will be a little older and they'll talk about, well, I think I beat you a few more times than you beat me.
Yeah.
That does happen.
A rare shot of a player using the bridge. It seems so few and far between these days with the extension and so on. Just joining us, this is the warm-up match. Mosconi Cup, 25th through the 28th, Mandalay Bay. Catch it on DAZN, Sky Sport.
44.
Brought to you by Matchroom Pool, Matchroom Sport. Yeah, baby. What's your
Hill.
most memorable Hill win? You have one offhand? One pocket counts as well.
One pocket.
I know these
counts.
questions are tough. I mean,
Yeah, they
you've
are
had a lot
tough.
of
Hill
hills.
win. Probably actually my first professional tournament I ever won back on the Camel Pro Billiard Series.
Hill.
Yeah, it was a funny match.
10 ball, 9 ball?
It was 9 ball. It was against Johnny Archer. I'd finished second in the first pro tournament of the year to Earl, my first pro final. And then the next 3 weeks later, we had our second pro event, and I won the winner's side.
Okay.
And I had to play Johnny in the final.
Maybe
And I opened with
TCS
6 from the lag.
Okay.
And I missed the ball on the side, tough 5-ball shot, and I was like, I know he's going to make a match of it. And sure enough, I'm up 10-7. I break dry. He runs 3 to the hill. He breaks dry, and then I made a really incredible combination on the 9.
Oh, baby.
Yeah, so that's probably the one that stands out the
Sure.
most. Yeah,
Bet.
and that was a great year for my pool career, I guess. 1999, a long time ago, 20 years ago. Wow.
Yeah, man.
I mean, you don't say that as often as I do these days,
No,
but I say it a lot.
20 years ago enters the equation for me
Oh,
as
man,
well.
it's
yeah.
brutal.
No. Johnny Archer, man. Shout out Johnny Archer.
Yeah, right.
Scorpion.
Player of the decade
Yeah,
in
man.
the 90s and Hall of Famer, and now good chance, I think, Hall of
See the
Famer
hill
John
break
Mora.
From Mora, he's definitely got a shot at the Hall.
It's not easy, though. I'll
The
tell
young
you.
man takes time, consistency. We'll see.
His dad was a great player as well.
Be coming up dry here, Jeremy.
In a big group down in this lower right quadrant.
The balls aren't breaking tremendously well. It seems that they're
Not
kind
every
of
rack,
clustering.
yeah.
Yeah, some inconsistencies there, which I kind of like it just as far as a sweat. You know, when they're breaking, making 3 balls every time, just dead straight on the 1, it is a little bit, you know,
Yeah,
anticlimactic.
redundant,
But
right?
but if they are breaking a little bit funny, what do you like here? An awkward save.
Yeah, well, so much distance, right?
Yeah. Are
If
we
you could
just
push
sort
the
of-
1 past the 9 and go into the 3 with the cue ball lightly, I mean, that's a hard way to roll your ball because you're so far away, and you'll probably leave a decent little kick shot.
Is there anything aggressive-ish that also kind of keeps an eye on the cue ball, like a 1-9 off the 4 and just
I
come
know.
across the table or so? Because it just looks
Tension.
like
I think you got to pound it a little bit too much for
it's
that.
kinda
But
just not there.
I think he's going to roll his ball and
Kind of towards the 3 and just try to hook him on the
Yeah.
6-9 situation.
yeah. If he keeps the cue ball behind the 3, you just kind of figure it's hard to sell out a shot.
It's
You
a
may
little
sell
thin,
out
though,
a kick.
maybe to stay behind the 3, right?
Maybe. You might be right. Might be cutting it too much.
Oh, well. Well.
Yeah.
What a nice look for Team CSI to take this one. Still some work to be done, but
No, I got it.
Yeah, definitely some work still. But
That
you can
safety
see the
was
first
awkward.
5 or 6 right there. The 7-8 being up the table.
yeah, I mean, when we say some work, they're big favorites to get out here, don't get me wrong, but they do have to do it.
Did he end up short, though? If he ended up short on this first shot, that could pose a big problem. He's got to come all the way across and play.
Left, right, but as you've touched on a few times this match, the slipperiness does come into play on a shot like this. You have to really stroke it.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, if you overhit it, it doesn't grab much inside. It's kind of like that fine
it goes
timing.
above the side pocket. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, it grabbed nicely.
Nice shot. Looks like he's trying to line up the window position. Excuse me, he's got the pink to the purple. Don't know how many times come with that, but
well, that's what we're here for with the warm-up.
Exactly, we're warming up too, pal.
Okay, you got to believe he's probably gonna. He'd like to draw the 4 past the 6-9 to have a little angle on the 6 to where he doesn't have to.
Yeah.
Excuse me, the 5.
Yeah.
When he shoots the 5,
Alex
draw past
being
it.
So little, I guess reaching things won't be a problem if it's kind of. Yeah. He does have to stretch a smidge.
Yeah, he doesn't want to catch the piece of that 9 coming out of here if he's drawing it. So. Thing is, he's so close, he can hit at a lighter speed and really let the draw take.
Oh my.
Yeah. So, but this is a funny little one too. John's got to punch this a little, you know. I think if he follows it naturally, he may involve the 8 a little bit, or if he just follows it naturally to go beyond the 8.
Might be coming 1, 2, 3, 4 with a lot of left. As you said, the 8 looms large, but
yeah, they did well.
A little bit unlucky to just end up kind of awkward, but this one should be a wrap, Jeremy.
It's going to tire a match. This is the warm-up match for the Mosconi next week that starts Monday the 25th.
Nice little shot there, good stroke. Committed to it. 25th through the 28th, Mandalay Bay, the Mosconi Cup. Team CSI didn't come on down here to Griff's just to lay down, though, Jeremy.
No, they didn't. Yeah, they were strategically chosen, excuse me.
Yeah. Winner.
Well, a couple shots got away from Team USA, but overall pretty solid.
Yeah, that 3-ball Shane missed, I'm sure.
Yeah, that'll
hit that shot quite a lot where you're cheating the pocket slightly with that inside, as you said.
And that's the deflection part. When you have to add a little speed, you hit the right side of the ball. It goes a little more to the left. And,
squirts.
Yeah, exactly. And talk about a guy that'll shoot it many times. That'll be Shane Van
Yeah, he'll
Boning.
be here for the next 30 hours practicing that.
Right. Probably till Monday. But stay tuned with us, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be right back for match number 3. It won't take long. Our warm-up to the Mosconi. Be right back.
Let's go. Vilmos, never fold.
Well, we didn't know who was going to break at that point. I'm trying to stay out of it. I'm trying to watch the clock. Okay, how much time? going to be done with it in about
Right, guys.
20 seconds.
Gentlemen, we have to go. So, Gennaro, grab the ball, please.
Can you fix this for me? We are here for round 3, and let's leg for break. The overall score is tied at 1.
Good afternoon. We're here live from Griff's in Las
USA
Vegas.
wins the break.
This is the Mosconi Cup warm-up match where we've got Team USA versus Team CSI, which is Q Sports International, sponsoring Team USA ahead of this Mosconi Cup this year. And so Q Sports International have put together a nice team to go up against our Team USA, and their captain happens to be Carl Boys, who has joined next to me here in the commentary booth.
Yes, it's 1-1, so I was happy to see that point on the board just to stay in this match.
And you did say you won your rack, didn't you, Carl?
I did indeed. I didn't think I would, but at least I won. At
No,
least I've won a game.
I didn't either, to be honest.
Cheers.
So if you are just joining us and you haven't been watching, we are on our 3rd match of the tournament. At the moment it's a level, 1 point for Team USA and 1 for CSI. It's a Mosconi Cup format here, but we are first to 5 points instead of 11, otherwise we'll be here all night. 30-second shot clock in play, 1 extension per rack per player. And so we've got Tyler style.
Yeah, a bit of a loose safety shot there from Vilmos. Let's give Tyler a little look here in rack 1.
And just so you all know, obviously this is not the Mosconi Cup, guys.
Extension.
The Mosconi will be starting next Monday, the 25th of November. 4 days it will be, and I promise you that. 4 days of play. Live from the Mandalay Bay Resort and Casino. And news just in, because I get hourly updates, we are now officially sold out.
Just going to ask that. You took the words right out of my mouth.
We are sold out. All tickets have gone. The first match we started with 6 tickets left for Thursday, and we are officially sold out.
There you have it. Thanksgiving is a sellout.
So if you cannot make it and you're not able to come to Mandalay Bay next week, you can catch the action live in the UK from Sky Sports Arena and Mix. And if you're in the US, we are live on DAZN. And we are also live across the rest of the world. All of our TV channels are listed on our Matchroom Pool website. So just head over to there if you're unsure whether it's showing in your country, and I can assure you it will be everywhere. This is the most viewed event in pool. So Carl, how did you find the Aramith Black set?
Well, in the one rack I've played, I found them all right. I think they look very clear on the screen, so I don't see any major problems, and I don't know, they just feel a bit more modern to me.
That's the exact kind of vibe we were going for. Why not? You know, this game is evolving. Younger players are coming through. Let's modernise things up a little bit. So that was the thought process behind, obviously, Matchroom and Aramith.
Yeah, I'm sure now and again people watching might think it's a bit difficult to see where the 9 is, certainly in this instance, but you can clearly see the yellow stripe, so it's not going to be a major issue.
So obviously he's part of your team, Carl, and I'm hoping that you've done a lot of research on your team, seeing as you are captain. How are you finding sort of Vilmos as a player?
Yeah,
I haven't seen much of him, so
I've done loads of research, of course, because I'm very professional. Take it very serious, the captaincy role. Obviously that's why I've put him out first singles. Shown a lot of faith. And it's obviously our team's not very sharp like USA. Obviously they've been doing a lot of practice, and you know, our team's kind of just rocked up, so we're a little bit edgy, but believe me and you, they can all play. There's no doubt about that. And we have the lead. It's 1-1 in the match and 1-0 to Vilmos.
Round 3 match, score is 1-0. It's going to be Team CSI
Emily, is this
versus
the same table they're going to be playing the Mosconi on?
not the exact same. This one will be actually moving into our VIP room. But we will be playing obviously on the Rasson table for the arena. New design as well, it's the OX design.
Yeah, I've seen the
Different
legs
to
are
the
kind
Victory.
of curved, aren't they? It's a nice table though. So there you see Vilmos Folders to get the second rack underway. I'm a bit of a jack of all trades this week, aren't I? I'm a captain, pundit, host or something. Sprung that one on me, didn't you? Host or something? TV host? What is it you've got me doing?
As soon as we announced that, you messaged me and said, "What is this?" You are basically the in-arena host. There's one thing that we need to start evolving on when it comes to our Matchroom Pool events, and that is fan engagement. In the arena, we do it amongst all of our other sports, netball, basketball, gymnastics. It's all about the fans' experience in that arena. And so, in between advert breaks, in between the racks, everyone should be excited, engaged with the tournament, because obviously there's play not all the time, and that is what you and Simon Hosanna are going to be doing.
I'm the man for the job, am I?
Yes. So I believe that was ball in hand from CSI, Team
yes.
CSI.
Vilmos did get kicked in the corner. Wasn't the best of racks from the referee, though, it has to be said. There you see the pink 4-ball.
Extension, please.
Tyler had a fantastic Mosconi Cup last year on his debut as a rookie. I'm sure he'll be looking to do the same again. Keep changing my mind who I think's favourite on paper to win this year's tournament. I just can't decide.
I think Team Europe are going to be super strong this year.
Yeah, I have one day where I think USA, then the next day I think Europe, then it's USA. I just
Back and forth, back and forth. It will be an exciting one, that's definitely for sure, won't it?
Yeah, I just have a feeling it could be the best one ever. And it's 12-12. That's right, isn't it? 12-12 overall. Emily's nodding, yeah, it's 12-12 on one draw. And as quick as that, it's 1-1.
No.
So if you're just joining us here at Griff's in Las Vegas, we are live on our Matchroom Pool YouTube channel. If you're watching through the Mosconi Cup Facebook page, subscribe to our Matchroom Pool YouTube channel. There you'll be able to see highlights of all of the matches from 2018 Mosconi Cup. So if you want a little taster, a little refresher ahead of the event starting next Monday, head over to YouTube and cram in all of the matches before we start live on Monday. And so overall, it's 1 apiece in this warm-up match for the Mosconi Cup. And we have Tyler Steyer to break.
Singles match, race to 5, 1 apiece. Team USA to break.
Yeah, I don't think this type of break will be seen next week. I think players are just heading a bit more central because they don't feel like the balls are splitting the best. And it's a dry break. Vilmos now resides in Las Vegas, been here 4 years. And this is his local pool room. This is where he plays out of, so you would think he'd feel fairly comfortable. So you're tipping Europe, Emily, for the win. Is that what you're saying?
No, not necessarily picking Europe. I'm just saying I just think that their lineup is super strong this year. All of the players, obviously, with recent wins, you know, having that sort of qualifying schedule with the ranking points is fantastic for this event. You know, Jason Shaw taking down the International Open recently, and obviously Alex Kazakis qualifying in. It just shows how strong these players are. But, you know, that's not to say that Team USA aren't going to be as strong. You know, they've been here from the start of the week, all working together. They've got Johan Reising and Jeremy Jones, you know, sort of the best in the business, coaching them. And they're all working well together, and it's nice to see that kind of vibe with them all. And I'm not going to lie, it's good to see Justin on the team. And I think it's a, you know, fresh breath of air, really. And it's exciting to have Justin back at the Mosconi Cup. And I think he's a strong contender for Team USA.
Yeah, I think on paper, as opposed to last year, you would you certainly feel like they are the best 5 American pool players, so I mean, that's no disrespect to anybody else, but it's a lot of people's thoughts.
You keep saying on paper, and you sound like you're from like Love Island, and you're talking about it. Your type on paper. That's all I think about.
Did you watch Australia's Love Island?
No, I'm not that sad.
Not that bad. It's pretty good, actually.
I get home and I just work on my laptop. That's about as far as I get. I'm not going to go Love Island Australia. And so, your guy back at the table, Carl?
Yeah, a bit of a loose shot there, though. These pockets, I was amazed how tight they was when I got there. So, he'd have loved to have been another foot further down the table. So that's why you see him taking a bit more time here, because he's going to spin this cue ball back round off 3 rails, Bill. But you've got to make sure you pot your ball. Yeah, and he has done. He's used the 4th rail, so this works. Very much a confidence player is Vilmos, so he grows more and more into a match.
And so Vilmos on the edge of taking the lead here in this match against Team USA. And so it's 2-1. Vilmos to Tyler Steyer.
Team CSI takes a 2-1 lead in this race to 5.
This is a warm-up
Team
match
USA to break.
ahead of the Party Poker Mosconi Cup, which is taking place
you broke Team
next
CSI to
week
break.
at the Mandalay Bay Resort and Casino. And I'm happy to announce that we are sold out of tickets. If you are not coming and you've not already bought your ticket, you will have to now tune in live, which will be Sky Sports Mix and Arena if you're in the UK, and live on DAZN for you guys in the US. It's going to be 11 a.m. start here in Pacific time, or 7 p.m. if you're back home in the UK. And so this is just a great start, don't you think, Carl, for Team USA to just, you know, get a feel for what's going on, work on the Rasson table, feel for the new ball set and things like that. And it's just a nice little warm-up match ahead of the event. And, you know, it's tough as well because I guess Team Europe aren't having that same opportunity, but...
You're biased.
I'm not biased.
No, but obviously I think the strength in depth in Europe, with how many great players they are, and you just always feel like America have struggled to get that strong 5.
Well, I think it's just them as a team. Like,
Yeah.
individually, they are all strong players, but it's just them working together as a team. And I think things like the warm-up match and things like them staying together is something that just works well to get them to all, you know, gel together. And this is why things like this are so important.
Yeah, Team Europe don't need things like that, do they? Nice shot there. He's got to watch the side, though. He's going close to the side. And it's fell in the side. Unlucky there. He played a good shot. He had to power stroke that.
All in hand, Team CSI.
Is the cloth just like, is it just playing a lot quicker?
No, listen, I mean, these guys have played on many different pool tables. That was just one of them types of shots where you had to really force it. And unluckily, he just found the line of the middle and it just fell in. So on another day, it doesn't go near there, and it's just one of them, really. Obviously, I was happy to see it fall in.
Yes, I forget that you're biased and you're not just here as to commentate.
Well, it would be funny if we beat them, though, wouldn't it? And I was captain.
Do you know what? I don't
Extension.
mind if you guys beat them, because
Pulling for us, aren't
it just gives them a little taster ahead of next week, and I think it gives them more fight for next week. But I mean, I'm happy either way. And also, if you guys win, I don't have to pay you the prize money because obviously Matchroom Pool Pundit, so I save a bit of money. No, I'm joking.
Ruthless.
No, I'm only
Ruthless
joking.
woman.
So it's $5,000 prize money here for the warm-up match for the winning team that takes us down.
I'll donate my 1,000 to charity, all right. So as you see, he bumps the pink 4. Key shot's going to be the purple 5 to the green 6. Not so sure if he meant to bump the 4, but nevertheless he has done. Yeah, that's not too bad. Nice little angle there. Just come over to the right hand side of the table, and it's a big rack this for Team CSI. Well, he spun it round the 3, so that's fine.
So if anyone is wondering, obviously Team USA are sponsored by Q Sports International, and part of that, this is where we've put the warm-up match together with Team USA against a Team CSI, and I think it's great for a company like CSI to be involved with the Mosconi Cup. I'm personally very excited about it, be working alongside Ozzy Reynolds.
Let's go, Vilmos, come on. (3-1).
So it's 3-1 to Team CSI against USA. It's still early doors. Carl, don't get too excited.
I agree, but I said to Johan in the last doubles matchup, I said it'd be nice if we can just pinch this at 4-4.
The score is 3-1.
Because
Team
USA
CSI leads
2-0 up, free
race to
stroking,
5.
and then we're kind of under it because I've had to put me and Oscar on last match, the 2 retired players, just so me and Oscar are pulling for this. If we can go on at 2-1 up, takes the pressure off us.
So if you're just joining us, we're live here at Griff's in Las Vegas. A warm-up match ahead of the Party Poker Mosconi Cup taking place next Monday, the 25th of November. We are sold out.
Yeah, going back to the whole idea of the warm-up match. Obviously, when you're practicing, there's no real pressure, and you just sort of clear the table time and time again. So Tyler finds himself 3-1 down and 1-1. So even though it's not a a big arena full of fans, and he still gives him that little bit of added pressure. He's got to dig deep now. Tries the cut break, come up dry, but as you can see, he's not left a shot on the 1.
So it's great because it's opportunities like this where you see players like Vilmos, come into their sort of own here and actually get the TV time that necessarily doesn't actually get on the pool calendar.
Former world junior champion, Vilmos.
There you go. I did not know that. Thank you. Fun fact every day.
Proper captain.
Proper captain. I'm going to try and think of a fun fact that I'm going to come up with later today. It's going to take me a while to rack my brain on
Push
it.
out.
But it's personally for me, it's just great to see a player like Vilmos that I've never personally sort of watched before. And I was speaking with Jeremy earlier about it, just because they don't have like the titles and things like that. That's why things like this are a great opportunity. I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought because Alex Paguline was walking towards me, rubbing his stomach, eating soup, and I just totally lost my train of thought.
So he's left a push out there, and I think there's a bit of a gap. Well, he's going back for his jump cue, I can just see. So he's trying to jump this over the edge of the 9 ball and pocket the 1 in top left pocket. Cue ball draw back a little bit for the blue 2. Hit it too full. That was the problem. Tyler sporting a new tattoo on his arm there. Never seen that before.
I feel like he's gone a little bit rogue, hasn't he? He was sort of like this clean cut, like butter wouldn't melt in his mouth, and then all of a sudden, Jason Shaw stands in Shane Van Boning's chair, and he's all up in his grill, and he's like, you don't stand in the king's chair, and he does this interview, and then all of a sudden he just changed. He's got tattoos,
Sleeve
he's got this new
tap.
fade.
Yeah. Comes in the arena on his skateboard.
I was impressed with Tyler after, the Kremlin Cup, especially where I was there and actually, watching. And it's interesting to see these young players come through and evolve. And it's, someone like Tyler, I think would be great for like the World Pool Masters or even the World Cup Pool. And it's nice that something like the Mosconi Cup could potentially have that kind of stepping stone as well.
Yeah, he's a serious player, and I know he puts a lot of effort in away from the tournaments, trying to fine-tune his game and constantly practicing.
Extension.
So it's a similar Mosconi Cup format here. Players get 30 seconds shot clock with 1 extension per rack. It's a race to 5 each match, with the overall points first to 5 points instead of the 11. Otherwise, we would be here all night long. This is just a nice little warm-up match ahead of the Party Poker Mosconi Cup next week. A chance for everyone to see Team USA before they take on Europe, which is going to be extremely exciting.
Yeah, if you're not doing nothing in your local to Griff's Bar and Billiards, come down and sweat some of this match. Just these 3 balls to pull another rack back in this match. Obviously Vilmos just 1 away from the hill, so you need to stay close. Wow, 4-inch pocket. That's why I love these 4-inch pockets. Just caught the rail and it always hangs up.
It's kind of a last-minute decision that we obviously decided ahead of the event next week with the pocket sizes, and it's definitely something that I think the Europeans favour a lot more.
Well, it's not so much the Europeans. I disagree.
Okay.
I think it's more that you have players who we call it a good eye. They've got a great eye for the pot. So somebody like, I'm just wondering what me. That's not bad. He's got a bank shot. He's been a bit lucky there. He's played a bad shot. Yeah, what I was saying, yeah, Jason Shaw, Joshua Filler, just great shot makers. They've got that ability, that natural eye to pop the ball, and that's the aim of the game, to be honest. Certain players, you always fancy them throwing one in. You kind of get to know that as you play on the circuit. It's turning into a big rack, this. I'm sat here, obviously, wanting Vilmos to bank this 9 now, but he's missed a trick here.
So what, bank it into the middle?
Yeah, right
Okay.
middle. He'll certainly go close with this, but it's more the stage of the match. Yes! Let's go, Vilmos! Come on, vamos!
Vamos, Vilmos.
Let's go, baby!
That's my teammate.
And if you hear that, that's Alex Paguline in the background, just having a little cheer on.
That's what creates drama, though, because if you play on a big pocket, Tyler's 7-ball falls and it's 3-2 and you don't feel like you're watching anything. I know I do harp on about the pocket size, but I just think it's crucial just to when you don't quite get perfect position, just make that shot that little bit more difficult where you can miss it. So Vilmos is on the hill. He's got a healthy lead in this one, and this is just going to put Team USA under a bit of pressure, because a race to 5, it's not the longest of races, so it's good for Team USA, even though the scoreline isn't.
Well, it's good experience for them, and it's good to prepare them for next week. I think it's great that we've got players like Vilmos coming in and, you know, running like a good match like this, and, you know, that's an interesting rack, and like we said, it's race to 5, anything can happen,
Race to
really.
5, 4-1. Team
And,
CSI to break.
you know, Vilmos is here on the verge of taking Team CSI into the lead overall. Just one more rack to do it.
Big break, looks like it's going to be dry. But as you can see, the big cluster, top right of the table, there's no shot on the 1. It's not going to be the easiest of push-outs as well. I mean, obviously you can kick this ball, it's just making sure when you kick it, you've got some kind of obvious safety. Looking at that, he's going to have to hit it pretty thin. I think he's having a look at this. I think he's trying to come off the top rail. No, he's pushed.
Push out.
Is he going to try and tie a ball up? Sometimes you do see players trying to do that as a bit of insurance policy. Not many options really. Be very difficult to try and tie the pink 4 up. Tricky spot here. I think you'll see Vilmos hand this shot back. I don't see any kind of obvious kick shot here. What would you do here, Emily?
Oh, stop it.
I had to sneak that one in, didn't I? I've been waiting for that.
It was such a bugger. Well, obviously, my sort of vibe with Paul is that if you just kind of whack the ball, then, because I'm super lucky, right? Like,
Yeah.
super lucky. So I just think that if I just whack it, then the best is going to happen.
Sometimes that's all you can do, to be fair.
That's why I don't play, and I stick to my job.
You just stick to running the gig, don't you? So as I said, put him straight back. 2 rails here. Yeah, that's a pretty good shot. He had to hit that perfect, to be
Good
fair.
hit.
If you can't see it, it's a very easy jump shot. Obviously the 2 ball doesn't go, so there's still a lot of things left in this rack.
And so if anyone's watching and a little bit confused, because it can be a bit confusing, we've got Mosconi Cup branding everywhere. This is a warm-up match ahead of the Party Poker Mosconi Cup, which is taking place live from Monday the 25th of November at the Mandalay Bay Resort and Casino. If you can't make it there, we will be on DAZN in the US, as well as Sky Sports Arena or Mix in the UK and across the world.
Yeah, and if you are struggling, you can see the big Mosconi Cup sign with the dates right next to it, just to clarify that. And even the start time.
Oh,
Oh no,
Jeez.
he's missed it. That's a big mistake.
I mean,
didn't
like,
think
what's
I got
going
it.
through your head at that point?
Oh.
Like,
Just try to hit it thin. I mean, sometimes when you're rolling it like that, the table can just drift a little bit. It's, you know, when you just rely on it to be super straight. But can he pop this 2 and develop the red 3? So it's not all.
and the thing is, you can't be in this position and give someone like Tyler Style opportunities like this, because he is just going to take that away from you.
Yeah, because of the 2 doesn't really go in any pocket, does it? So he's going to try and lock him up here. And there you see, he just nudged into the red 3 and just opened it up a little bit. And then you see him have another look just to see if it goes past the 8. And he's got in a lot of trouble there. Just with where that cue ball is, it's touching that red 3, so it's took out the side rail.
Extension.
I feel like the players are sort of struggling a little bit with the shot clock, you know, perhaps not so used to it across all of the tournaments, and it seems to be coming into play every time.
It's a foul.
Yeah, it's not an easy hit, that. Yeah, I mean, obviously when the 5 seconds comes, you can hear the beep.
Ball in hand.
Certainly if you've played in a Mosconi Cup, you know that. You kind of wait for it.
So he's on 2.
Does the 3 ball past the 8? I think it does. I think it's tight, but whenever you see a player keep looking down, it usually does go. And where he's put the cue ball, looks like he's just going to stun down the table, so there, it obviously does go. A little bit surprised where he's put the cue ball, but I think because this 3 ball's tight past the 8, he wanted to be straight on it. Usually on a 9-ball pool table, that's the worst place you want to be, unless you're on the 9, of course. Yeah, you can see it does look tight. This will go off the left side of the pocket, and then you see again there's no cheat in the pocket. I urge everybody in your pool room to shim your tables up to 4-inch. There you see, no forgiving, bounce straight out and away. Bill Moss has got a shot at 3. 4 balls trickier because it only goes in the right bottom pocket. There you see it again, didn't hit it clean and it rattled. More misses equals more drama. This is kind of Skylar Woodward territory, this shot. He's the best I've ever seen at this type of shot when it's thin. Full range, just gets down and chops it in. Needs a bit of help. Not the worst nudge. I'm not saying this is easy in the side pocket and cue ball's on the rail, but could have come out a lot worse. And where the purple 5 ball is, just focus on the pot.
Love how you said the purple 5 ball. Just refreshing everyone.
To be honest, I brought that into the commentary box. No one ever used to do that. They used to just say the colour. But I've started to name the number on the colour, boss.
Look at you.
Brownie points. So it's been a shaky rack for both players, this. He's not hitting these clean at all. He is not hitting these clean at all. He's going through the motions here. And that was purely the speed. Any harder, that would not have dropped. People will be watching thinking he's just run the balls out here, but you can just tell as a player, you know when you're not cueing the ball that great and the balls just don't go in the heart of the pocket.
And what's like the factors behind stuff like that, like obviously as a player?
I think it's just a case of some days you wake up and everything just goes perfect, and sometimes you're just not hitting it that clean. But that's where the top players come into their own, you know, the likes of Shane and, you know, Jason Shaw. They're always on point with it. That probably just what separates, you know, the great players and and the great players.
Right, Tyler, let's go. Let's go.
Calm down now, calm down.
This is an excited USA fan in the building.
Which is the coach.
This is
Oh, it
round
was
3
coach,
with the
wasn't it?
overall
Coach,
score.
yeah.
One apiece.
There you go. You must be feeling the heat.
And so we're live here from Griff's in Las Vegas. If you are in the area, feel free to come along. It is free to come and watch this warm-up match, which is Team USA against Team CSI. Q Sports International sponsoring our Team USA for the Party Poker Mosconi Cup, which is starting Monday the 25th of November at 11 a.m. Pacific time, and we're going to be at that beautiful Mandalay Bay Resort and Casino. If you've walked down the strip at all, you've got the banners up on the marquees. If you walk through the Mandalay Bay Casino, you've got Repeat or Revenge all up. And I think, you know, this is what's so great about these events and these prestigious venues, is that you come to the likes of Mandalay Bay and you are like, this event is the best
Team USA break.
in the industry, and we should be at the best venues. Don't look at me like that, Carl.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I love this new Aramid black set. Just seeing it there before the break. I'm slightly biased, obviously, but
Well, I'm sure the keyboard warriors will be out in force.
game on.
But I don't see what the big issue is. Bit unlucky there. It was a good strike on the break. And you can see the pink 4-ball has blocked his route through to the 1, so another push out. I do love these short races and all. I'm not saying I'd love it in singles tournament play, but in a team match, you're just never out of the match, are you?
And I think that's why events like the Mosconi Cup is so important for this game, because it appeals to the wider audience, which is obviously what we're trying to do, and that is our vision here in Matchroom Pool, you know, to try and bring in a bigger audience and to try and grow this sport, because pool is exciting to watch. It's, you know, it doesn't get the credit that it deserves sometimes, and it's, you know, it's not like your usual snooker where you have to be quiet in the arena. You know, you can have music on, you can have a bit more fun with it. It's entertaining, it's exciting, and, you know, Race to 5 is beautiful for that.
Yeah, I think I know why it doesn't get the respect and all. I think many people who watch it, they say, oh, the pockets are massive. This is what I've heard all my life. Pockets are massive, and then I've known friends who've never even played, and when they've, you know, when I had a table at home, they've come round for a game, and they're like, I can't believe how hard this game is. They don't understand how big the balls are.
I think when you sit at home and you watch snooker and you make the comparison to pool, it's easy to say that, you know, the pockets are bigger and the table smaller, and it's obviously so much easier. But when you actually get yourself onto that table, it's, you know, it's a lot harder than what everyone said. And credit to these athletes, you know, like they grind every day, and like they're here, they've been at Griff's, like they're practicing, and like it's a tough grind for them. They're not that many tournaments on the calendar for them. You know, the prize money is not that great, you know, as a sport as a whole, and it is a tough grind for these players. And there's big tournaments like the Mosconi Cup where they have to come along, and there's so much pressure resting aside. Like these 5 players from Team USA, they are representing their country, and there is a lot riding, you know, on that for them.
Yeah, and I think what you're saying there, I've noticed when I've come to America over the years, in England, if you're in a pool room in England, you can go in there and the sort of regular pool player, the league pool player, they don't really respect the good pool players. There's no real respect there, and whether that's something to do with snooker, because everyone in England's thinking, oh, well, snooker's this game and that and all that. But when I've come to America and I've been round a load of pool halls, all the league players, they really respect the pros. They love Shane Van Bonen, Scarlett, you know, they proper respect them. And I think that's the big difference. don't know how you're going to change that one, boss, but...
Trust me, it's literally my mission to change it. There's so much potential with 9-ball pool, and that is literally our vision.
Well, I think the big thing with it is whether people are on this bus of, oh, the pockets are big. I think the big thing is it's easy to watch. It's easy on the eye. You know, I've grown up watching snooker, and I'm not really a big fan of watching it because I think it's got to that stage now where everyone's so busy and it can feel like it's a bit of a grind. As where with pool, I just feel like before you know it, you know, the rack's over, there's a new rack, and then certainly in the Mosconi, you get to watch so many different players and doubles, Scotch doubles, singles. Before you know it, you're like, what's going on here? It's 3-2. Jason's coming down the stairs. And it's like,
he's wearing a mask.
Yeah,
there's
it's
flags
like,
everywhere. There's sparklers going off. It is a lot more exciting, and that's why it's just, you know, brilliant to try and. This is the step in the, you know, the foot in the door to grow the sport, because this is where we're going to bring in our casual fans, and these are the people that are going to go to the pool halls and they're going to try it, and they're going to come along and, you know, have a beer with their friends, and this is, you know, how we kind of evolve into more like how the darts are these days, and, you know, go to the World Championships at Alexandra Palace, and it's fantastic.
Yeah, it's amazing, and I think he stuck this one up. Yeah, he's got a shot at this. That's all you can ask for. The game of 9-ball pool, some days things go your way and some days they don't, but whenever you're on the hill and you have a chance like this, if you don't take them, you don't deserve to win. Needs the cue ball to slow down. That's a good shot. Just needs to judge this well. I think he can just play with a bit of left spin and miss the 4. This is a big point for Team CSI.
Huge point. Puts USA on the back foot a little bit.
Especially with me and Oscar going on next.
So who are you up against?
Me and Oscar, I think we're playing Billy and Bergman. Yeah, Billy Thorpe and Justin Bergman.
That's quite an exciting little duo.
Well, I just thought, me and Oscar, you know, he's bought a pool room. He's not really been playing that much. Last time I played was last year's challenge match, by the way.
I mean,
So
you're probably
thanks.
just saying that.
Honestly, that is a true statement.
Okay.
But I did put 3 hours practicing last night when I landed, though. But it's always nice to go on when you're 2-1 up. You feel like, well, if we lose, it's 2-all. Who really cares? You do have that mindset sometimes. Well, I do anyway. That looks pretty good. Nice little angle so he can get the cue ball away from the rail. And I'm going to go and get myself ready and leave you in the hands of Emily Fraser.
Oh, goodness. What if he misses here? Oh, I can't
Oh
believe
my
I've just
God.
said
What for just seeing? I cannot believe he's missed that 8.
No.
Wow. You've just jinxed him.
I did, didn't I?
Look at this. Anywhere, just hit anywhere on the right-hand side of the table, and at that angle it will fall in. So I'm not going to go and get ready. I'm going to stay sat down.
I was going to say, I can't handle this on my own.
And now he's going to really going to be struggling mentally now because he's had a golden opportunity.
Goodness me.
What's going on here is that ball there,
Yep.
tomorrow it'll stay up. It's because they're brand new straight out of the packet, so they've still got that bit of a shine on. Bit of useful info for you there.
Thank you.
But you can just see,
Race to
can't you? That's what
5,
I'm
it's
saying.
now 4-3.
They know the pockets are 4
To
inch.
CSI
They've missed a couple
still
of
leads in
balls.
this
They're not
one.
quite feeling it, and this is what can happen. It can just start to play with your mind. Is that a huge moment in this team match today? Still 4-3 up though. You've got to try and forget about it and move on.
It must be so hard for, you know, players in that position to drop things like that and to have to move on, because that's just playing in the back of your mind, and, you know, you're about to take the next rack.
CSI to break.
That must be so tough for you mentally, and you know, it's credit to these players as well. Well, I say these, I'm not including you on that because you're more of a pundit these days.
The #1 pundit in the game. And there you see dry break, so he's had the ultimate punishment. Luckily, he's not left a road map. Road map is what we call a very easy layout at this level.
I was about to say, can you outline
Not know that one.
No, I've heard
You
it
knew,
before.
you
I
knew.
knew.
I don't mean I was on my maps on my phone. I didn't mean that. I can't believe you've just jinked my teammate there with that. I mean, how have you pulled that one out of the bag? That was unbelievable.
Yeah, maybe I shouldn't comment on things like that anymore.
Yeah, he's got him locked up here. Well, I think he'll be jumping at this.
Love a jump shot.
Yeah, well,
I'm like your casual fan, so I love jump shots, love banks. Like it's just
that's what.
it's
Yeah.
exciting.
Listen, as an ex-player, players kind of do hate the jump shot, but I'm all for leaving it in. I get it. Do you know what I mean?
I just think that if you're going to go for stuff like that, you deserve to get the shot. Like if there are two players that playing, and one of them doesn't go for a bank or a jump shot, and the other one does, I'm always rooting for the one that has that confidence to go for one, and pays off there for Vilmos.
Well, you see, you like the jump shot. You're calling every shot at the moment, aren't you?
Like I am.
It's your lucky day. You need to get on that roulette wheel.
I told you, I'm just lucky in general.
There you see it. Look at that. But at least he's still at the table. It's not an easy position, is it, either? I don't think this 2-ball passes the brown 7, so he's not going to be playing the pot. Oh, he's nudged it off the 7. It's all going on. He needs the cue ball to slow down because the pink 4, he's going to be after his next shot. There you see, watch this, just flicks the brown 7. This match has had a bit of everything. Vilmos knows he should be sat watching the next match now, and he should have won this. Missing that simple 8-ball before for a 5-1 victory. 5-2, sorry. Just a funny situation here. He's obviously straight on this ball, so he can't get over for the pink 4. Yeah, he's just drawn it back for the bank, and that might look pretty good. Obviously it's hard to tell. Yeah, I think he's in a good spot here. He'd love to just play a stop shot. No, he's drawn it, so he didn't quite have a natural bank there. And where's the 4 ended up? Well, he's got to be happy with that. The reason why he couldn't play a stop shot there is he's had to try and force the angle on the bank shot. So he had to draw the cue ball back out the way, but he missed it by a few inches. There you see Tyler's new hairstyle.
They all went to the barber's the other day, and he came back, and to be fair, it did actually look quite cool. Credit to the barber, I must say.
I think he's been on the wind-up. So good save there. And that gives him huge control now in this rack. Interesting one here, because if he does give ball in hand up, I don't think he can pot this pink 4, so very interesting situation we've got here. I think if I were Vilmos, I wouldn't even attempt this. He's played it at a speed where, yeah, that's fair enough.
Got it off just in time.
But he has left it.
Why wouldn't you have attempted it?
Well, I mean, fair enough he's gone off the side rail, but I just think if he gives up ball in hand where the 4-ball was, I don't think he could do much, so I might have just been tempted to bump the 5-ball on the side rail near the brown 7. But I think he's left a shot at this now. He hasn't. Good speed there. And now, obviously, if he misses this, there's no safety option, is there? To be fair, at this level, we should be hitting this pink 4. Well, I thought he could have gone off the side rail, so obviously Tyler's done a great job at locking it right up on that 9, so this is very difficult.
Wow.
And it is amazing. He was 2 balls away from a 5-2 win. And it looks like now he's going to go hill-hill. This is a big, big moment in this match.
And so if you're at home and you're tuning in on Facebook, we are also streaming live on our Matchroom Pool YouTube channel. If you subscribe, you'll be able to watch all of the last year's actions, so all of the highlights from the 2018 Mosconi Cup. So if you want a little refresher ahead of the Mosconi starting next Monday, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel and catch all of that action, whether you are on the revenge side or the repeat. And Tyler Steyer on the verge here of taking this hill-hill. And we are also 1-all overall for this warm-up match of Team USA against Team CSI. Quite a different matchup in comparison to Team England last year, Carl.
Yeah, this is like Team Misfits.
Team Misfits. It is kind of just like all mixed together, like all jumbled together, isn't it?
Yeah, we've come from all over the camp.
Extension.
And so we are now officially sold out of tickets for the Party Poker Mosconi Cup. So if you are not coming along, you will have to tune in. If you're in the UK, we're on Sky Sports Arena and Sky Sports Mix, which is their free-to-air channel. If you do not have the Sky Sports package at home. And if you are in the USA, it is live on DAZN. Make sure you tune in, guys, because damn, that is going to be exciting.
Emily cue ball tight on the rail here. He's left himself a little tester.
He's going to make it.
Well, I think he will now. You've just said that. You never know, though.
Dum, 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 dum.
Oh, he went off the jaw, but it's gone.
All right, we go to the
It's
hill.
4-4.
Race
Wow.
to 5, 4 games apiece.
And so if you're just joining us here, guys, this is a warm-up match for Team USA against Team CSI ahead of the Party Poker Mosconi Cup, taking place from the 25th to the 28th of November, which is Monday to Thursday, and we will be kicking off the action at 11 AM Pacific time from the Mandalay Bay Resort and Casino. Team Europe currently in LA doing some team bonding. If you've been following them on social media, you'll see some of their
USA
posts.
to break, hill.
Whereas we've got
Third
Team
round.
USA here taking on the misfits of the Q Sports International team. And Tyler Steyer to break. It's hill. And it's a dry break from Tyler Steyer there, giving Vilmos back to the table. What are we looking at here, Carl?
Well, it's been the story of the match, hasn't it? No one's really had a clear shot, but the big story of this one is Vilmos Fold had that easy 8-ball, didn't he, to win the match, and it's made things interesting, and it's a poor cue ball there. Hit the 2-ball full, and he's left Tyler a shot at this. No, it's not an obvious type of shot. He's got to play this with a bit of right spin and try and get on that 2-ball. You want to try and come out to the middle of the table if you can, because if you're too far on the right, he's writing stuff down on his notepad, and as I look over, he's scribbling away.
He's literally been doing that the entire time. He's just been scribbling on that notepad. The poor guys, they're going to get back to their apartment, well, their suite, I say.
They get a suite, though.
Yeah, I know, but I've just put my foot in it, haven't I? Because Team Europe don't have a suite.
Oh,
no,
wow.
I'm joking.
We never used to get a suite back in my day. It was the Ibis.
Well, keep the Ibis. Come on now. We got to keep this team together. We got to gel. You know, they're lucky.
So that was a good pop there. Heart of the pocket after everything that's gone on so far. It's just a case of trying to hold yourself together. Right, is he going for the... Right, he's going to go for the 3-9. I'm not sure if the 3 ball's touching the rail, he's going to have to play the 3 off the rail and into the 9. If it's off the rail, he might be able to combo it straight on. He's even looking at the carom there. I think he should play this off the rail, then into the 9, and draw the cue ball back a little bit. There's a bit of a two-way safe. Well, he's playing the carom, so he feels like it's on. Big shot. No, he's lost the plot there. I don't think that was the shot. It wasn't the shot. He should have played 3 ball into the rail. And then if you do miss the 9, 3 ball's going to go off the 9 and up table. Big match this now. It was a big point this. Can Tyler hold himself together? This is just a case of connecting the dots.
Extension.
Just want to point out, everyone who's playing the doubles next is warming up, Emily, and I'm sat here.
You can't leave me. I'm definitely not qualified enough to be in here on my own.
You're fine.
I'd be like, yeah, and he's going on to the 4, and then on
Pink
to the
4.
5.
Pink 4. Yeah, he is feeling it a bit out there. He's playing extra slow, isn't he?
Which he kind of did that at the Kremlin Cup, I noticed. Right. I mean, which is fine, but in this event, it's tough. You've got a 30-second shot clock.
I think just because he's missed a few balls, he doesn't feel like he's cueing that great. Obviously got off to a bit of a bad start, and it's just knocked his confidence a little bit. This kind of looks like it's the match ball, doesn't it? As long as you pot this and stay on that green 6, you would think it's over. Yeah, and he's done that well, isn't that nice? (4-1) down he was in this match. It's not been a clinic, very scrappy, but it's a W at the end of the day.
And is it kind of like a mix of Vilmos kind of losing his head a little bit with some like shots missed and just Tyler taking that opportunity?
Yeah, I think 4-2 when you called that 8 ball, that was the big key moment. I mean, when you miss a shot like that, you see it so often, you end up losing the match. And yeah, it was an interesting match, this one. It had it all.
I'm excited to see this doubles match next.
More highlight reels. Just want to point out, me and Oscar are retired pool players. So.
Oh, stop it. So Tyler Steyer taking the last rack here. And that's 5-4 to Team USA, and so Tyler Steyer is taking the overall score 2-1 against Team CSI in this warm-up match ahead of the Party Poker Mosconi Cup taking place Monday to Thursday at Mandalay Bay Resort and Casino. We'll be taking a short break ahead of the doubles match, which is going to be Carl and Oscar against Billy and Justin.
Need a drink or something? No, I'm good. Thank you.
Gentlemen, please remember, I appreciate if you want to get balls out of the drop boxes, but make sure they don't hit the wall after that shot. All right, guys. Time to go. Quick grab. What do you want to do? Thank you, Oscar. Gentlemen, please wait for me to announce you. Guys, we good? Everyone good? Score is currently 2-1 in favor of Team USA. We have a doubles match playing. Gentlemen, you may lag for break.
Well, here we are again in match number 4 of our warm-up between Team CSI and Team USA. Just a warm-up. When we call it a warm-up, we're solely talking about next week's
Team USA
Mosconi
wins the
Cup.
lag.
I'm Jeremy Jones, alongside Nick Shulman here from Griff's, right here in Las Vegas. So what do you think, Nick? Now we have 3 matches done with
We're at
USA
1.
leading 2-1.
Well, Steyer really squeaked that one out last match. Kind of goes without saying. It was a rough one. Happens. Beautiful break here from Thorpe. Yeah, Folds missed that 8-ball up 4-2. That was pretty shocking. And Tyler got it done.
Yeah, it's amazing how when you get that opportunity, it doesn't matter, even in a short race, of course, but the longer races, when you get that opportunity, it really means something, trying to get to close that door.
Indeed, yeah. Nice to get a look at Thorpe and Bergman here. Two legends, both pretty quick players, wouldn't you say? They kind of.
Yeah, Justin can be kind of on the slower side, believe it or not.
A little methodical.
Yeah, he likes to just, you know, he's a guy that has so much knowledge getting through the rack. He wants to make sure he's not really like passing up on something.
Sure.
Plus, it's that routine. It's not always knowledge, but just that, you know, you kind of want to repeat.
Yeah.
So, but a guy that we didn't see much in the team match, we saw him unfortunately foul on the clock, but then also a 9-ball combination, or a 9-ball just kind of hanging there for him to win that one rack. But a guy that, you know as well as the rest of the pool world that not a surprising pick, but a little unexpected maybe in the situation.
Is this a hair awkward here, Jeremy?
Yeah, he's got to use his talent. He's got to kind of get it to the rail and out.
Yeah.
And the key to these shots, Nick, is don't try to get everything out of it. You know, all you got to do is get to the center for your partner. When you try to get all the way over as good as you can, that's when the ball really becomes missable.
Like it. Makes sense.
Yeah, and talent.
Like Billy agrees with you.
Yeah, well, that's one thing Billy's not lacking is a little talent.
Yeah, I was telling him about, but man, I was sweating him. Like Billy's just out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like sometimes a few tough shots enter the equation. He's young, but yeah, man, just gets out. That's a little short here, Mr. Jones.
Yeah, he can't do much with the cue ball here as far as making the 8. He'll probably cut it in. I mean, and go back and forth trying to just get a shot from above the middle of the table for Justin with the cue ball.
And he can kind of hit it sort of roll speed, right?
Yeah.
And just come 1, 2, maybe 3 across, and shouldn't get too out of hand.
Yeah, if he tries to come with outside, that's when the problem really occurs, and get closer to the 9. Just take your shot.
Well, what a nice gift for Team CSI here, rack 1. Billy saying that he should have banked it. He's such a great bank pool player. I don't know what the percentages favor there, banking it versus cutting it. What do you think?
Well, I think they changed when you're talking about Billy Thorpe, just because he is
Billy
a great banker. But, yeah. But I think the cut was the shot. He just missed it, you know.
Yeah, he just missed it. Maybe he wasn't fully mentally committed to thinking in his mind, maybe I should be banking it. I
agree totally.
When you get over it and you decide what to do, you do have to, fully commit. Yeah. 1-0 CSI.
1-0, and after a great break off by Team USA, good chance to get on the board early.
Yeah, tough not to close that rack out.
Yeah, John Lehman here in what will be our last match, if you could call it the early session, not really day or night. We're only going to take probably a 30 to 45-minute break for the players to get a little, freshened up.
Sure.
We're going to go on, and you can see with a 2-1 line score, we're definitely going on to the evening or second part of our session here.
Yeah.
Well, Oscar Dominguez now a former Mosconi Cup player for Team USA and a great player.
You're welcome. Rack
Now
number
it's a
2,
pool room
Team
in
CSI
Sacramento.
break.
Yeah.
Scores 1.
Talking a little bit before
0
things
in
started.
favor of
Known
Team
Oscar for a
CSI.
while. He's indeed a great player, as you said. Mosconi Cup experience. Always plays hard.
And he's the kind of guy, even it's a single sport, as a whole. I mean, that's all right. Watch the 2-ball coming around, but even when it is singles formats, it just kind of because I tell the guys all the time in our sport, it's set up for us to beat each other, but we truly are, we're all colleagues really, and we all work together, even though the sport's set up to not be together at so many times.
Yeah,
but,
I know what you mean, though.
Yeah, but I always felt like Oscar was a team player for the sport. You know what I mean?
I do.
Yeah,
he's
willing to give great information, help guys.
Yes.
So
I know what you mean, and that is a nice thing. And it's hard not to feel a sense of camaraderie, I'm sure, for you guys being out there year in and year out, seeing each other at various stops. Obviously, everybody's trying to win, but as you said, play for the combo here, Jeremy? Or?
Well, if it's natural to get there, I think so. I think the rack's okay either way. The purple 5 is near the 4, so if you had to play short side on the 4, you would think shape on the 5 wouldn't be that hard.
Sure.
You, Nick, being in a different sport, of course, and many may not call it a sport, poker, but it's kind of like you gain a respect, right? Isn't that what it is? You know, after a while, it may not be at first, you know, your type of person to you know, label, but you definitely gain a respect.
Without a doubt. I mean, it.
Extension, please.
Now the thing about this one, he won't hit it light. You want to go ahead and hit this, and that way you get a nice accurate line on the cue ball. Yeah, you could hear a big chunk there, like maybe a little bit of a skid.
That's the one thing that's a little bit almost ironic about the new balls that are so washed and in such great shape. Occasionally, skids kind of just enter the equation.
Yeah.
You've always said, I've heard you say this years ago too, that part of skids is the stroke at times.
Oh, absolutely.
Certain strokes promote more skids. Not that that happened there, but let's look for CSI here, albeit a bit awkward. Maybe kick behind it. Safe with Mr. Thorpe banking him, and that split the whole beauty.
Yeah, and look how nicely he
What a good
crept the
shot.
cue ball up above the 5.
For those that may not know, Billy Thorpe is definitely in that discussion of the best bank pool players in the world.
Absolutely. Just, you know, a lot of people know that around the pool world for sure. But, you know, with the exhibition he did at the Derby last year to win the tournament, it's one thing to win the tournament, but just the way he won the tournament, it's almost
win
like
it in style.
you know, eerily similar to what happened just a few weeks ago at the International. You know, many thought that Justin had to win the tournament to really make the team, but you know, finished 4th, ran through 10 great champions, but it was just the way he played.
Right.
You know,
to show that different gear,
exactly,
that form plus the kind of intangible, just immense talent.
And it looked like it was very repeatable.
Yeah.
Like we saw it happening maybe here.
Remote control.
Exactly. No. So after a little bit of a hiccup in game 1, Team USA gets right back on the board.
That they do. Just joining us, this is the warm-up match to the Mosconi Cup next week, 25th through the 28th. Mandalay Bay, right here in Vegas, where Griff's, there it is, legendary pool hall, ready in a pretty short amount of time.
Well, kind of a big name for pool period, amateur and pro, Mark Griffin. Of course, you know, originally started in Alaska with many pool rooms up there and pool-related businesses, and then came to, I guess, is that considered, I know Hawaii, you would say this is the mainland considered Hawaii, but it's still kind of, Alaska's still kind of pieced together with the U.S. via a little Canada.
Score is 1-1.
But then coming to America and quickly becoming part of Diamond at one time products, and then the BCA Pool League. Okay, he's lost the cue ball a little, and he may still get a shot, but he hit him squarely.
Maybe
Watch
not.
out, 7. Okay, so big decisions.
That drift, that kind of stun follow drift off of the break towards his lower right hand corner seems to be the most kind of common error that you see, right? On the break with the new kind of style of breaking, or I shouldn't say new,
please.
but the...
Well, especially the slick cloth.
Yeah.
Because you got to actually, it's a fine thing, because if you lower the tip, it draws, but if you get a hair high, it really magnifies the follow as well.
No pushing out here for Mr. Thorpe, going right at it with the jump cue.
Well, that's why.
Yes, sir.
Well, you and I had talked about it earlier, how great the guys have become with the jump cue, that you'll see them pass up.
Yeah, man. I mean, and I like the way he just got down and fired it, too. No consultation, no, what do you think of this? That's a big part of doubles, right? If you're confident, you have to communicate as well, though.
Yeah.
So it's a fine line, I guess. But
yeah, and that's one of our big things when it comes to Team USA, is that we actually want to keep the communication down a little with open tables or different thoughts. I was wondering if
a little bit.
That was a hard bank to predict. Not easy, and you could tell it was all position based.
Sure. Yeah, sometimes maybe the communication can be a little contrived almost, or forced, right? Like we're supposed to be kind of, if you're flowing out there, just get it done.
Watch outside pocket, and I think it's grabbed him. No, maybe not. Now, the one thing I will tell you that happens a lot in these, and it doesn't happen a lot, but it happens to a lot of people a little bit here and there. And that race to 5, you lose a game, or maybe not even lose a game, but that race to 5 makes you think you have to go for a little bit more, try and get on the board rather than, you know, letting the games develop a little bit more like you would in a regular race to 9 or 11 or 13
That's interesting,
format.
sure. And you're really under the gun right off the bat, obviously, but it is true. Races to 5 are intense.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, wait till next week.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Now doesn't have the bank option here, so he'll be running the cue ball.
Does it not go by the 7?
I don't think so. I think it's so tight. Okay, he's going to catch the 9. Just depends how fully, and that was the kiss he didn't really want.
One of the trickiest shots in pool, trying to thin that ball from a long ways away, come around the table. I think every pool player's hit that one too thick, multitude of times. Great look for CSI here.
Okay, and I was watching Oscar. I know, you know, he owns a pool room and he's only 34, so even though not out there playing as much as he used to, I know he puts in a little time hitting balls. At least what I saw earlier on the practice table makes me think he does.
Sure.
Because he looked pretty solid. He looked pretty clean hitting the ball. Now, this is where you just got to take your shot. You shoot the 6 and take the little cut on the 7.
Yeah.
Kind of rely on your partner. Don't take on a goofy 6 ball on the side, in my opinion.
Attention, please.
You know, trying to get your partner a little bit better. Do what you know, this is where you do communicate because he has options.
Yeah.
Do I go forward 3 inches for you? Do I go forward over the side pocket for you? What do you like?
Sure.
No, he's drawing it with outside to try and get better. Yeah, and that's why.
I mean, you really hit the nail on the head there, Jeremy. It's just a kind of, just percentage-wise, the 6, you can cinch it, accept the 7. And Carl rates to handle his business on that 7 ball incredibly often. Drawing back, Oscar tried to get him perfect, and just as Jeremy said, things went awry. Sometimes you have to settle in this game.
Oh, absolutely. Know who's backing you up is there for a reason.
Yeah.
Now, consequently, he'll have to draw the ball. Similar.
Right. This
Got
time
a lot
it
of draw.
necessary, though. Yeah, he's got such a big stroke, Bergman. I mean,
it's amazing the little guys, you know, exhibit so much cue power.
Yeah.
Which I've always told taller people that they get easier cue power just because of length, but at the same time,
bit more leverage.
Yeah.
Billy got the rust off now in the warm-up match, gentlemen.
Yeah, he's got a little quick with the stroke there.
Yeah.
Just a little bit. So that's where when you get a little flinchy on the right side of the ball, it just moves out to the left initially a little more than you anticipate. So that's nothing about aim, ladies and gentlemen. That's much more about just the cue speed.
Lovely bank there from Carl Boyes. Oscar essentially perfect on this 9 ball.
I tell you, this Roussan has woken these guys up a little bit, though. The deep shelves.
Right.
Yeah.
It's slippery,
tight pockets,
but it's tight.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like they'll spit out on you if you're not.
Yeah, if you're not pure with the stroke. Well, ladies and gentlemen, again, if you can't make it to Las Vegas next week for the 25th through the 28th, you can watch in many places around the world on Sky Sports, and I'm sure some syndicated channels probably in different areas, but mainly Sky. And then here in the U.S. and North America, I believe it's DAZN, which is like the kind of like Netflix for sports, you might say. And the sweet thing is you can go back and watch the recorded coverage on DAZN as well.
Rack number 4. Current score is 2-1 in favor of Team CSI. Team CSI to break.
And Carl Boyes, who's a 4-time member of Team Europe and a great player, that's for sure.
I believe he's a former world 8-ball champion.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, and he's
a crafty player, too,
oh, yeah.
watching him. A lot of knowledge, a lot of, you know.
I kind of one of those guys. I kind of felt like you never really realize how much he's doing to you. You know, it just kind of goes about his business and.
Right, kills you kind of softly.
Well, he's nonchalant about everything a little bit, you know, so he knows how serious things are, but you still can't ever kind of like recognize he's serious. So, okay, pretty good touch there. And the kick shots here on the one ball and the top, you know, all pull really, but when you're talking about the best players in the world, when they kick and hit the one, you can see how much congestion there is. So the hits on the one really offer a lot of return safeties on these kicks.
Sure.
Or makes.
What now, though?
Yeah, what now?
Can he kick above the side and load it up with left and kind of.
Yeah, but you have to do it with a slow pace.
Right.
Yeah, have to do a little bit of a slow pace for it to
jump
grab.
Here? I mean,
maybe.
Position kind of isn't natural either. Looks like he's going two rails.
And he's kicking towards congestion. Cue ball and object ball. Oh, okay.
He really lengthened out on him. Misjudged that one.
And I'm not sure if he was going one the way the ball reacted or two.
Maybe he wasn't sure either.
Maybe. Carl now, I think the top finish that I think he won the World Pool Masters one time, I think, or maybe got beat in the final, but he also finished, I believe, in the final of the U.S. Open one time as well.
Yeah, so. Incredible resume.
Actually,
and he stepped up in Mosconi Cups big time, too. You know, that's the kind of thing that stays with you for a lifetime. I mean.
And actually, I believe the year he finished second, he wasn't really on points-wise anyways. Oh, that one really grabbed a lot. So it's going to need a little bounce to go after the pink 4. Now, here's where Billy, if he decides to elevate, he's really one of the best when it comes to elevating the cue.
Yeah, I've noticed that, too. I haven't seen him really miss one of these yet. And as Jeremy pointed out, he is slightly elevating to bring her back a bit, punch it to the rail.
Well, that's called the commentator's curse there.
Yeah, of course. That kind of speaks for itself.
So an early opportunity here to stretch the lead to 2 games for Team CSI. Really kind of natural position flowing over towards that purple 5. If he gets a little too thin, not too big a deal, he'll just come down the left side of the table with the cue ball. He has to have good speed control here, so he'd probably use the side rail, huh, Nick? Yeah, try and kill the cue ball a little.
Well done.
So a little thin here, but manageable. And that's what happens on this table, Nick. When you shoot, when you shoot shots that require you to get the cue ball going, like a draw shot, it requires a little speed to get it going, right? So that's when it can get away from you.
Sure. I heard you giving the guys some, just in their practice session yesterday, Justin, he had a kind of stun shot in the side, and it almost scratched in a lower corner, and you were kind of letting them know or reminding them that when you draw the ball, it keeps drawing. And it made a lot of sense what you were saying. That backspin remains on the cue ball for longer than it would on older cloth or just different kind of equipment. So it really is a very finessey kind of, a lot of touch is required to navigate these tables. Beautiful table, of course. The players really seem to love them.
Yeah, I've been impressed with their product.
Kind of in between a Brunswick and a Diamond almost, it feels like.
Yeah, and they keep trying to improve their product. That's one thing that is a sign of a great company. Not just settling, you know, and saying this is it.
Yeah. Ties it up, race to 5. Little Scotch doubles here. Bergman and Thorpe versus Boys and Dominguez. If you're just tuning in, this is the Mosconi Cup warm-up here at Griff's in Las Vegas. There it is. Next week, the real deal, 25th through the 28th, Mandalay Bay. You could catch it on DAZN, Sky Sports. Hitting over 100 countries, brought to you by Matchroom Sport, Matchroom Pool. You know what it is. Mosconi Cup season, baby.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, I was, here in Vegas, of course, being in the States is, England's always fun, don't get me wrong, but a little chillier there and a little colder, a little windier.
Gets a little nippy at night.
Yeah, beautiful venue, the Ali Pali, Alexandra Palace, but I kind of woke up this morning and I looked outside and I was like, man, it kind of reminded me a little bit of Northern England,
Bracket
Northern
number
London,
5.
excuse
Current
me.
score is 2-2. Team USA to break.
But it doesn't last long here in Las Vegas.
This is true.
Okay. Got a lot of movement on the 9. Didn't get one down, but gonna leave a tough starter for Team CSI. And kind of a goofy little situation here with the 2-9 kind of looming a little bit.
It's definitely a bit goofy. I don't know if he can just kind of lag it up on the 5 or cue ball, that is. 4 rather, excuse me.
Well, I don't think he can cross the one over the top of the 4, like cross corner bank it and come down towards the 9 with the cue ball either. I don't know if that would be a nice shot. Kind of a two-way with the 3, 8, and 4 there. Even if you're not making the 1, it's not horrible.
A double kiss to kind of bank it and try to. I think he might be shooting the combo.
I think so.
Okay.
Oh, wow. Combination bank. Excuse me. Well, I know Oscar does play a bit more one pocket these days than he used to. And I think that was from living here in Las Vegas is where he really kind of got it started.
Seems most pool players try to add a little bit of one pocket trickery to the arsenal.
Try and catch one of your poker players. That's probably why.
Exactly.
Okay, another bank here, maybe.
Looks like he went with the two-way shot.
Wow, and the 1 hung up too. That's even double jeopardy there. That's like you hit it great to make the 9.
A bit of hard luck. I mean,
yeah,
how accurately he hit that, but
that's the Rasan though with the deep shelves. So. Okay, so quickly now, big change of events. We thought was going to be a 2-game lead a minute ago for Team CSI. Is now going to be Team USA's first lead.
that it is.
Thank you, gentlemen.
And I think these guys, they know it's a warm-up, but they're intense about it. I mean, we've seen some mistakes, but guys getting used to some things and acclimating or whatnot. But they're also trying to keep it a little more relaxed as well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it feels like the vibe is almost in the middle. Because as you said before, too, there's a little bit of prize money here. Listen, I mean, these boys are trying to put a few shekels in their pocket. Why not? But it's also, of course, the real serious business begins next week. So they're kind of in the middle a little bit.
Yeah, you don't want to. You don't want to make mistakes, but you don't want to. It's more of a learning from them than being hard on yourself about them,
Right.
So it's not going to be where sometimes in pool we play a big event. There's a lot of pressure because there may not be another great big event for a few months.
Sure.
Maybe 4 months sometimes. So there's a lot of extra pressure. But now these guys know the real pressure is next week. Not letting off, and there's that follow you were talking about.
Foul.
Yeah, you see that quite a bit on these breaks from the rail, that slippery cloth, and of course Oscar's pretty sick about that. When you go clean in the hole off of the break playing 9-ball,
it's on you, right?
It's on you, and it's a bad feeling, especially at this level.
He's got to watch his shirt. We had some reminders with Justin. I did actually personally. I'm rooming with him, but just about that shirt. Once you you look and you're 4 or 5 inches away, right? Well, it gives you a comfort saying to yourself, I can go more without looking, but you don't.
Yeah.
As soon as it's 4 or 5 inches,
yeah.
As soon as you turn your head, you don't go further down, even if it's a different stance than you're used to.
Sure, such a sickening feeling too to take a foul, just your shirt nudging a ball. But
see, like right here, prime example. This is where you should play short side on the pink 4 for all the way up on this table rather than coming backwards, believe it or not.
You just play like a high ball,
high,
smidge or right.
Yeah, or a high
over.
inside.
Yeah.
Whichever one you like to get on the back side.
Yeah.
Not saying they hit it perfectly, and that's normally how you would do it, but you really play a lot more of the
natural.
Exact, the way the cue ball wants to flow.
Yeah.
You know? And the weird thing is, it's like I told you before, it's not really a, it's more of a long-term thing. You know, you're not going to see them as, like right there, they no problems, everything turned out fine, but you know, 1 out of 10 with these guys,
Sure.
1 out of 8 mistakes.
Sure, those
in that
percentage, those little percentage plays do tend to show up over time.
Okay, got him a little flat, but he's off the rail, so we'll see.
Should just jack up, draw it back a little bit, leave an angle on the 8.
Well, and I was talking about that shirt foul with Justin, and one of the reasons bring it up to all these guys is, well, actually Justin had a foul with the shirt in the Mosconi one time before. Really tried to do a lot with that one.
Yeah,
yeah, I think he had to a little bit.
Yeah, the angle must have been a bit steeper than it looked from here.
Okay, did pretty well, stretched, getting him out on the ball. Yeah, because I believe Billy Thorpe broke the first rack, so Team USA will be back to break. I think we had the score. Not so sure it was correct there just a moment ago. You know, with the U.S. Open coming here now from Virginia, and so much more that goes on in Las Vegas all the time. And again, Vegas has become a serious hub for pool.
It really has.
I bet you enjoy that. Just
You
seeing
know,
the guys. I know you're not around it that much
but
anymore.
to have such a
you know,
prominent action room just right in the heart of the city, yeah, I don't mind at all. Of course, there's some great one-pocket matches to sweat consistently. Great 9-ball every once in a while. I'll hop in there myself. And, yeah, it's great.
3-3.
Yeah, well, they have corrected the score to 3-3.
All right. Team USA to break
and again,
the score.
ladies and gentlemen, this is our last match for this little first part of the session. Just take a little 30 to 45-minute break for the players and kind of let everyone regroup, reflect on what happened in the first session, and get on to the second.
Nice looking break there.
Yeah, he hit him square. I'm not sure he's going to make one, though.
Out of the rock, doesn't make one, and great look for Team CSI here.
And it looks like he's pretty straight, so he's not going to be able to get him much closer to the 2. It's all about making the 2 as simple as possible. Well, you can see Carl, pretty funny guy.
Carl keeps it lighthearted. Yeah, he's requested that Oscar moves mountains to get him stone cold perfect. It's Carl Rather is shooting. As you said, they do accept a little bit of work on the 2.
They'll have to play a 4-8 combo or kiss shot later in the rack, and depending on how they lay. Or no, that's the 5. Yeah, the 5-8. Excuse me, kiss shot on the 5-8. But depending on how they lay, getting to the 6 could be a little bit of work.
Sweet shot there, getting real close to the 3.
Yeah, great stroke too.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks like that carom lays nicely to then play the 5 in the lower right-hand corner pocket. Not that it's not without a bit of touchiness, but
yeah,
it looks like the carom carries position where the combination could be a bit awkward.
yeah.
Do you agree with that?
I agree with that. The one thing about the kiss shot is, with the 9 being there as well, you know, most likely the cue ball is going to be near the rail after making the 8. So it just depends on gaining an angle on the 5 to get to the 6. Yeah,
Sure.
kind of the combo kind of frees you up a little bit more with the cue ball, most likely. Carl reminding
Oscar asking him about the carom, and Carl said, yeah, whatever. Just make the 4. It looks like he might have come up a hair high.
Yeah, I think the combo is the play now, for
Yeah.
sure. Like I said, both the cue ball and the 4 should get kind of freed up.
Yeah.
Now he's got to hit it kind of light, just because he doesn't want the cue ball to race back down table. Is he still playing the kiss?
The carom, just the way he's lining it up.
I think it's missable from there.
Let's play it.
That worked out nice with
What a
speed.
nice shot, beautiful shot.
And very much intended to come out back out with the cue ball and hold the 4.
Yeah, that was slick.
Doesn't have to use 2 rails. He may. Yeah, just 1 rail. I like that.
Yeah. Nice little out here from Team CSI to go on the hill. 4-3. Just joining us, this is the warm-up match to the Mosconi Cup next week, 25th through the 28th.
Thank you, gentlemen.
From Mandalay Bay here in Las Vegas. You could catch it on DAZN Sky Sports, brought to you by Matchroom Pool, Matchroom Sport. Boys are getting a little rust off. I don't want to say rust, but you know, letting that stroke out a little bit in this warm-up. As you said, though, everybody's trying to win, but they're very much aware of the big business at hand next week.
Yeah.
Goes without saying.
The time with on the Rasan table as well makes a huge difference. Yeah, can't really duplicate the Mosconi table again. Or of course, the setting. I'm trying to think of a sport that can actually duplicate the Mosconi setting.
Right.
I haven't been to enough football games or soccer games at Wembley Stadium, I guess, or any. But
Current score is 4-3.
what you've been to, I
Team
know you've
CSI.
stepped
Team
into Mosconi
CSI
before.
is
Yeah, a few times
raking.
probably.
That lone table out there in front of the whole world and in front of literally a sizable arena, sold out every single day. Fans going berserk. I mean, it's a unique place to play pool, to say the least. And these players are all warriors, man. I mean, these are mental and physical warriors. This is not easy to go out there and keep them screwed on tight and to mitigate the nerves and to battle under conditions like this. It's really a noble thing to get out there and fight for your team and country and so on. Looks like Bergman's coming 3 rails around.
Yeah, and
get him on these balls.
Big room for error there, and that's the type of shot you want to lean towards. And the funny thing is, all these guys expect good, but they know they're probably going to have some bad with the good, some what you might quote unquote embarrassing moments in front of the entire world. But you know, that's a lot of heart taking that on. That's
without
for sure.
a doubt. I mean,
that's the one. Of course, TV poker is a little different, but people always ask me about poker and pool, and you would know more than I would, of course.
Well,
but
there's really no comparison when it comes to the pressure. I mean, certainly pressure in poker is a very real thing, and one's thinking can get clouded and all of that. But this is a physical sport, you know, so to hold up under the lights in pool is a whole different animal. It's more similar to golf and so on. Where poker,
it's a sport,
you can kind of, even if you get a little yippy in poker, you know, if your thinking is still clear, you could still sort of pull it off when that heart rate is racing and all of that. But in pool, you can pull it off as well, and you know better than me about being under the lights, nerves creep in, but you still have to do what you got to do. But this is one of the great pressure games there's ever been.
Oh yeah.
The Q sports. I mean,
any of the that are non-reaction sports.
Right.
You know, they start out
right.
I call them stationary sports. So cerebral.
He's creeping up a little too high. Yeah, exactly right.
But other thing I was getting at when it comes to poker, people would ask me, and not making a joke about poker, but it's kind of the truth.
Joke away.
Well, you know, in pool you're going to see him dog it. But in poker, until it's the TV rounds, the guy could just muck his hand and really never tell you really what was going on.
Right.
You know, he could say, I had this, whatever.
Sure, and a lot of times in poker, it's, well, it could have been this,
Yeah.
it could have been that. You know, you can make glaring errors and kind of pull them off, for lack of a better word. In pool, it's, you know, you bobble that 7 ball,
yeah.
that's what happened.
Okay, big jump shot, because again, a 2-9 possibly kind of looming.
Yeah, he's just going to dial in on trying to pocket this. The 8,
Watch
no,
out, the
8 in the
eight.
corner.
Now, is that going to cover up the combo? That makes a huge difference in this rack.
Sure. It looks like Billy has a similar safety to the one Justin had a moment ago. 3 rails around, all those balls. Maybe he can come off the right side of the 1 and try to get him on the 3,
Yeah, but
6, but
the problem with the right side, right, is the cue ball doesn't want to naturally travel easy off that side, right?
Squeak out and sell out. This is just so hard to.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to dog it, or you know, you have a lot of room for error. Dog it's a harsh word, but you have a lot of room for error. So I'll tell you, we're just a step away from possibly another hill-hill match. This should be okay. Is the 7 in the way for the 3 rail? I didn't think it was.
Foul.
That's surprising
Illegal
there.
contact.
Yeah, he just hit it full in the face. He's had a few kicking woes this match. These Rasan tables, brand new cloth, different conditions. I would think kicking is one of the most challenging hurdles to overcome on new tables of any kind.
Oh, absolutely. Slick ball, the balls, brand new balls, all
Yeah.
that. And especially because it's just, you know,
Attention, please.
it's not financially or anything set up for pool rooms to keep the tables in this type of condition all the time. It's usually, you know, if you're at a pool room that recovers the tables probably twice a year, you're in a really good spot.
I'm a little bit surprised that they're not trying to just get out. Is that too ambitious, Jeremy, to just sort of try to get on the 2? And
they're there.
in the way these boys execute, but obviously this is lovely as well, unless
Yeah, but if
you know.
but the out was
Maybe
there,
the
I
2
agree.
was a bit lower than it looked on screen, but I was surprised not to see them kind of go after
Well,
it.
there was the 1 to the 2
You
just
could
the
always
real
play
problem.
safe on the 2. Maybe it was hard. It probably
and-
was a little funny.
Yeah, and
that was
if
the
you get a little
choice that he
steep on the
made,
2,
yeah.
maybe it's hard to get on the 3 is all.
Yeah.
So
Awfully close to the 6, but as we see, Oscar's going jump. Beautiful execution there. A little bit of hard luck to kind of sell out the 1. A hell of a hit, though.
well, the technology these days is just amazing. And not only that, the guys make it look so amazing as well. It's not where it's like automatic. You just hit a button on the jump cue and it does whatever you want. You gotta kind of float this, it looks like, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Side pocket I thought was very close. Maybe not. So
Looks
he'll
like a nice natural position here to come across.
Yeah, and he'll just kind of shoot a field goal on the 2 between the 4-8, and got a big area of about a foot coming across to fall on the 3. Doesn't have to get like just really perfectly heavy. Can handle a little angle. Maybe a few inches from ideal, but this is where, you know,
Did you
this
ever
is
go low
actually,
right full into the 6?
Oh, I love the drag shot. No,
like
maybe
he's
not.
rolling it in.
Yeah, just roll it in. But I might drag this in a little more. Looks like Billy may be going back and forth. Okay, I like him shooting that like that.
Pure. A hair steep.
Yes, this is the funniest angle. You would want
Yeah.
3 or 4 more inches of an angle, actually, or you want 3 or 4 more inches
Yeah.
less.
Do you load this up with inside and just kind of get
Kinda-
on down there? Or?
I think I go back and forth, but you have to
With
really.
a high ball?
You really, yeah, you really got to trust the rollout of the ball. I mean, if you
This is
hit it a little,
awfully awkward.
yeah, it is. It's falling in that little funny zone. He's doing the inside like you were talking about, Nick.
And there we see the issue on full display. Such a tricky shot. I did hear claims of a skid in the background, but I don't think so. It just
No.
he just kind of bobbled a very difficult shot whenever you load it up with right-hand spin like that. As we've touched upon before, ball does kind of squirt off of the tip a little bit, creates problems. And looks like this doubles match is going Team CSI's way, Jeremy, to knot this thing up at 2-2. First one to win 5 points. Mosconi Cup warm-up here. Real deals next week, the 25th through the 28th. A little bit of work here.
Yeah, he got to where he's drawing into the 9. So if he goes with top inside, that's a good choice. But just don't try and get too close. You got to understand that.
Yeah.
That he can pocket this 6 and the 7's near. You know.
Sure.
It's kind of what you call working your way through the rack. Once you start to get out of line, you got to do a little more work for the next couple balls. You know. But should be a bread and butter for Carl.
Yeah, well done.
So Oscar and Carl, again, without something crazy happening, is going to knot this match at 2 points apiece, going to 5, as Nick said.
Carl's very stable over the ball. You
Oh,
know,
yeah.
he's a big boy, and he's just got a lot of stability. Like, it's just, he looks like a guy you want shooting a long straight shot for the biscuits.
Well, a lot of those guys are English 8-ball, but they started with a snooker background.
They have that athletic kind of stance. And 2-2, first to 5 points. Team CSI nods it up.
Nice match.
Well,
gentlemen.
you can see the crowd's growing
Makes sense.
in Griff's
Current
here. A little
score,
more
2-2.
applause.
We
and
take a
of course,
30-minute
some
break.
fan favorites with Oscar and Carl, but both teams will be back after a little break. It's probably 30, 45 minutes, so stay tuned.
Grab a little nosh. Grab
That's
a
right.
drink.
That's right.
Be back.